Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. The end of the world. Mythical recovers, and the start is fierce and strange. Chapter 61. Facing the middle-aged man in front of me. Zheng Haifeng didn't know what to say for a while. His face was a little solemn, and he spoke after being silent for a while. Mayor Lin, we are also very sorry about the death of your son. But you have to know that there is no resurrection from the dead. Now that the apocalypse is coming, the murderer of your son may be dead. Although they all went to arrest Chen Mo that day. But if it weren't for Chen Mo after the end of the world, hundreds of them and the survivors would probably all die. To take a step back, we have saved a lot of people. Mayor Lin, isn't this also an achievement? Zheng Haifeng lowered his head and whispered. Boom. Lin Anhei's face twisted upon hearing this, and he slapped the table in anger. It's not your son who died. Are the lives of those survivors more important than the lives of Lin and my son? Zheng Haifeng, you should know who is standing behind me. Lin Anhei looked crazy and shouted angrily. Zheng Haifeng couldn't help but feel his scalp numb when he saw this. The most powerful person in the Lin family is not the mayor in front of him. But it was the old man standing behind him. Although he has abdicated, he still has overwhelming power, and even people in their military region can be mobilized at will. Lin Anhei looked like a ghost at this moment, with a few strands of hair hanging down. He put his hands on the table and stared at Zheng Haifeng with his red eyes, his head lowered. Not at all as kind and gentle as before. He was going crazy. This is the beginning of the end of the world. His son died. The wife has turned into a zombie again and is now being imprisoned. Even though he was in the safest place, Lin Anhei didn't feel lucky at all. On the contrary, it is extremely painful. He had seen Lin Shu's body. Every day, what echoes in my mind is Shuer's miserable appearance. What's wrong with Shuer? You actually want to do this to him? He, Lin Anhei, was even willing to give 100 or 1,000 lives in exchange for Lin Shu's return. Lin Anhei looked at Zheng Haifeng for a long time. Then he sat down slowly. The voice was hoarse. I don't care who Chen Mo is. Be it a person with superpowers or a hero who has saved hundreds of people. I'm going to make him pay. In 2 days, the central government will send 2 superpowers to assist you. Zheng Haifeng, you recognize Chen Mo and are familiar with his methods. With the help of these 2 people, we can find that guy for you even if he is dead. Lin Anhei said with a fierce expression. Chen Mo, you'd better be dead. Otherwise, I will let you experience what life is worse than death. Zheng Haifeng sighed. Lin Anhei said calmly. The old man has also awakened a supernatural power recently, and his body has recovered a lot, so he decided to come out again. You also know that there are just a few positions missing in the central area, and the old man is going to make up for them. Zheng Haifeng, I think you understand what I mean, right? Zheng Haifeng heard a drop of sweat dripping from his forehead. There was a thump in my heart. This is incredible. The methods of the old man of the Lin family are obvious to all. Unexpectedly, such a big boss who had retired peacefully in peaceful times would come back again. Awesome. Zheng Haifeng nodded quickly. I see. Lin Anhei nodded with satisfaction. He said calmly. In extraordinary times, we need to use different methods. Don't worry, all war zones are now divided. The sky is high and the emperor is far away. It is extremely inconvenient whether it is transportation or anything else. Zheng Haifeng, this is a special period. I know that you have been hindered by some things. You have been working here for more than 20 years, but you have never been able to get up. If this matter is completed properly, your position in the 6th war zone will be yours, Zheng Haifeng's. When employing people, you must do what they like and give them both kindness and power. Lin Anhei has obviously mastered this technique. Zheng Haifeng was shocked. After Lin Anhei left, Zheng Haifeng looked at the file on Chen Mo on the table, his eyes flickering, wondering what he was thinking. And the other side. Until midnight, Chen Mo and Qiongqi finally finished counting these crystal nuclei. Up to now, I have a total of 19 bottles of F recovery potion on my body. 23 rank 2 crystal cores and 130 rank 1 crystal cores. There is a lot to be gained on this highway. But most of the zombies and their crystal cores were eaten by Qiongqi and Shaoxishan. Chen Mo looked at the crystal cores collected in his pocket. It's almost time to start advancing to rank 3 with the dominance ability. Take out all those rank 2 crystal cores. Chen Mo held it in his hand. It began to secretly absorb the energy in the crystal core. 1, 2, 3, until the 7th rank 2 crystal core. The dominance ability has finally been expanded. 40 meters. And Chen Mo's absorption continued. A person with powers below rank 4. Absorbing crystal nuclei can enhance the effect and power of supernatural powers, and it can also continuously strengthen your physique. The standard for judging external powers like domination is generally based on the range of the power. 100 meters is the standard for rank 3 superpowers. After reaching rank 4, there will be a huge gap in abilities, showing miraculous power. At this time, the most accurate method of judgment is undoubtedly to use the instrument specially made by the military region to measure the power of supernatural powers. When I used the power of heaven before, my dominance power exceeded the upper limit once. Came to 100 meters. Chen Mo closed his eyes tightly, and the power in the crystal cores in his hands was constantly being drained. The further back you go, the smaller the improvement brought by the crystal core will be. Absorbed all 23 rank 2 crystal cores. The dominance ability can only reach the range of 90 meters. The number of crystal nuclei required is huge. Chen Mo then began to absorb the rank 1 crystal core. Although he has dual superpowers, the number of crystal nuclei he absorbs every day far exceeds that of ordinary people. However, Chen Mo once calculated that the number of crystal nuclei he could absorb in one day was only 3 or 4 times that of ordinary superpowers. In other words, 30 or 40 crystal nuclei is the limit that one can absorb in one day. 93, 96, 99. When it came to the last 40th crystal core, a drop of sweat dropped from Chen Mo's forehead. 100 meters. Sudden. A terrifying ripple of punch suddenly rippled across Chen Mo's body. The surrounding metal materials suddenly floated one by one. A full 100 meters away. Chen Mo looked at everything around him, his eyes flashing, and his face was extremely happy. Finally a breakthrough rank 3 superpower. My back was already covered in sweat and soaked to the skin. Chen Mo tried to feel how rank 3's dominance ability was different from before. This time, the right hand that can control the power of dominance has not yet moved. As the thought sounded, suddenly, the surrounding metal materials surged over one by one. In Chen Mo's hands, he fabricated and reorganized it at will. This time, let these extremely dense molten iron float in the air. The power consumed is only half of the original. In other words, after rank 3, large abilities like the previous metal giant sword can be used. I can now use it several more times. A feeling of extreme hunger came over me. Chen Mo subconsciously prepared to take some from Qiongqi. However, he discovered that the hiking bag he was carrying on Qiongqi's back had been thrown away. Inside, there are all the food given by Luo Tianshang. Chen Mo's face darkened. It was probably lost while on the road or during the battle with the god of Shaoxi. I saw the god of Shaoxi and Qiongqi sleeping soundly. These two alien species and one god do not need any normal human food at all. You only need to eat those zombies to replenish your physical strength. Chen Mo dug around on his body. After digging for a long time, I finally took out a few crystal nuclei. There is also a pack of bear biscuits. Chi-Chi didn't know when she stuffed it into her pocket. Chen Mo didn't care so much and started eating directly. While eating bear biscuits, Chen Mo picked up a sharper steel bar from the ground. He started drawing on the ground and wrote down a few names. Libin City, Huabei City, Sichuan Yuan City, Tianai City. A total of dozens of provinces and cities were marked one after another. Chen Mo's eyes kept flashing. In those years, the place where it first appeared cannot be traced. But according to the news from the military region, the place where the news came out was Rahama City. Then there are North China, Sichuan Yuan, Tianai City. Nian is not like any god in the apocalypse. Whether you are on the top of a mountain, snowy mountain, fog, or lava. The gods of the apocalypse, without exception, rarely leave their own territory. But every year is different. It will appear every other year and devour countless creatures, even zombies and mutants. It moves ethereally and is not bound by anything. It will randomly appear in any place and kill for half a month. In these 10 days, wherever I went, not a blade of grass grew, and every living thing was gone. There's still more than a month to go. My current strength will be enough to upgrade my dominance ability to rank 4 when the time comes. It should be enough to fight against that year. At least, there is no problem in saving one's life. Chen Mo murmured. Year, as far as he knew, it should only be about the strength of rank 5 to rank 6. During that period, the most powerful superpower in each war zone was only rank 3. In this life, I have been too many steps ahead of them. At this moment, the major military regions may have just figured out the role of crystal nuclei. Most superpowers are in a newly awakened state, and the highest level will not exceed rank 2 superpowers. If it weren't for the fact that these zombies also need to advance step by step, Chen Mo might be a rank 7 superpower now. Chen Mo found a comfortable place and gradually fell asleep. There are many service stations on the highway. Let's go take a look tomorrow. Early the next morning. Chen Mo felt sticky at the corners of his eyes, as if a tongue full of barbs was constantly licking him. He frowned. Slowly he opened his eyes. Qiongqi. What came into view was a big face. Qiongqi was roaring beside him. Chen Mo wiped it helplessly and looked around. When he saw the extremely white mountain of meat lying on the ground, Chen Mo rode Qiongqi and jumped onto the body of Qiongqi God. On the other side, isolated by the huge body of God Qiongqi, there are countless densely packed corpses wandering around. At this glance, thousands of zombies were blocked by the god of Qiongqi on the other side, which was simply nerve-wracking. One can imagine how many zombies would have come if it weren't for the giant Qiongqi god blocking here last night. Qiongqi God, come back. Chen Mo included this meat mountain into the power of Tianquan. Ride directly onto Qiongqi and start heading towards North China City. After losing the obstacle of the giant Qiongqi god, the zombies, which were extremely ferocious and waving their claws, roared and roared directly towards them. One after another, there were countless people, all rushing towards Chen Mo's position, wanting to bite and scratch him. Roar! Qiongqi underneath him roared angrily, waving his powerful claws. With one slap, the zombies rushing towards you were sent flying. His whole body moved vigorously and flexibly among the zombies. He acted quickly and turned into a yellow afterimage. Chen Mo riding on Qiongqi's back. Looking at so many zombies in front of him, his eyes couldn't help but feel a little hot. These zombies are all crystal nuclei. The highway is really a good place to hunt crystal nuclei. But it is too time-consuming to dig out the crystal nuclei one by one. Furthermore, the dominance ability has reached rank 3, and the ordinary rank 1 crystal core can no longer improve itself much. Only when rank 2 zombies appear will Chen Mo stop killing them. Among the massive zombies, the zombie king that was born became more and more powerful and ferocious. Rushing in search of food. Chen Mo did not stay here too long. Qiongqi moves quickly and has extremely strong body skills. Whether it's a broken ruin or a crowded intersection surrounded by countless corpses, you can avoid it perfectly and easily. It didn't take long before we arrived at a service station. Chen Mo's eyes lit up when he saw this sign. He patted Qiongqi, who was sitting down, and said, "Qiongqi, stop here for a moment." He planned to see if there was any food available at this service station. At this moment, in the high-speed service station, in an extremely dark abandoned small supermarket with a little flash of electric light, there are holes all over the ground. Suddenly, a rustling voice sounded. From a hole, the head of a man with a somewhat chicken-like appearance, a sinister eyebrow, and a sallow complexion was poked out. The man's big eyes rolled and he glanced around. When he saw the zombies wandering around, his face showed a look of fear. He carefully climbed out of the pit, fearing to disturb the zombies around him. "I want to look for food that is not contaminated and can be eaten." Men simply did not dare to look for food toward the center, because the surrounding area was full of wandering zombies. He could only be extremely cautious, looking for food on the surrounding shelves that he had searched for countless times. "I'm so hungry. If I can't find this again, I'll really have to fight these things." Yuan Yu murmured anxiously. I don't know how long it took, but he was finally on the floor in the corner of Xiao Gala. Found a whole bag full of bread. Yuan Kai's eyes suddenly lit up, his expression extremely ecstatic. Sudden boom. The door was opened with great fanfare and unscrupulousness. This violent vibration made Yuan Kai's whole body tremble, and he collapsed on the ground in fear. Drilled directly into the soil. My mother. He was so frightened that his voice trembled. Yuan Kai's ability is the elemental earth attribute. Class D, called burrowing. It has little effect. As its name suggests, the power can only be used to drill holes in the ground. But after the end of the world began, he relied on this power to survive with his little girlfriend. Now, the zombies in the supermarket were alarmed by the sound and rushed towards the door one after another. Roar. A low roar sounded, and it turned out to be a ferocious beast like a tiger, charging directly in and biting the group of zombies in front of him. Chen Mo held the onikiri in his hand and cut off a zombie in front of him with one slash of his knife. PFF'd. When I saw that this place looked like holes in the soil had been dug out by someone. Chen Mo couldn't help but frown. His eyes twinkled. Is there an alien species here? There were so many holes dug, which ordinary zombies couldn't do. Zombie rat. Chen Mo became slightly vigilant and didn't think much about it at all. Just wave the onikiri and quickly resolve the battle here. Roar. Boom. The violent noise here naturally attracted the attention of Yuan Kai, who was hiding in the cave. Yuan Kai looked horrified and trembled all over. This roar, couldn't it be that some more powerful zombies have arrived? All he wanted now was to run straight back to a safe place through the hole he had made. But no matter what, he had already confirmed it to his girlfriend. This time, if he couldn't bring back the food, he really wouldn't have the embarrassment to go back. Yuan Kai bit the bullet and carefully stuck out half of his head. When he saw the extremely bloody scene in front of him, zombies were being mercilessly dismembered by Chen Mo and Qiongqi. Just look at it. Yuan Kai was almost scared out of his wits in an instant. Like a turtle, it shrank back again. Chen Mo and Qiongqi are harvesting the lives of zombies here. Fortunately, there are not many zombies here, and there are only about 20 rank 1 zombies. In a short time, 1 person and 1 beast were eliminated. Chen Mo asked Qiongqi to throw out the crystal nuclei from the brains of these zombies. Then he directly started looking for edible food here. Food touched by zombies will be affected by corruption. But after all, this is a small supermarket, not too big or too small. Chen Mo searched for a while. Finally, some edible supplies were collected from these shelves. Not much, 4 cans, 6 packs of instant noodles and 2 bags of ham. Plus a few bottles of whole walnut milk. Apart from these, others are more or less affected. What just made Chen Mo a little confused. The packaging on these foods is very familiar. The only difference is 8 walnuts, Shanghai instant noodles, Zhongwangjong ham sausage. It's all piracy. High-speed service stations, train station shops, these places, besides people are real. Everything else is fake. But it's the end of the world, so long as you can't kill anyone. Chen Mo didn't care and continued to search. See if there is anything you need. Suddenly, in a remote little corner, Chen Mo found a piece of bread that was full of dust but looked relatively intact. He was standing next to a collapsed shelf not far away. And in that position, there was a hole, and a hand stretched out from the hole. The cat is eating the bread on the ground sneakily. Anyone? Chen Mo narrowed his eyes slightly. Communicate directly with Qiongqi's soul through Tianquan's superpowers. Roar. Qiongqi immediately turned into a bolt of lightning. Like a cat catching a mouse, he jumped directly into the hole. Ah! Help! A shrill scream sounded out. Qiongqi came directly from the cave. He took out a thin man with sinister features and evil eyes. Yuan Kai closed his eyes tightly, waving his fists desperately and struggling. I'll fight you. Fight. Although Yuan Kai shouted very fiercely. But soon, the whole person shriveled up and wailed as if he was in pain. Help. I'm still young, I don't want to die. See the person Qiongqi captured from the hole in the ground. Chen Mo's face was startled. Then he frowned and said. Yuan Kai. Bang. Qiongqi threw it out directly. Yuan Kai sat up from the ground in pain. Someone called my name. He slowly opened his eyes. Looking at Chen Mo with a blank expression, he felt that he looked familiar. It's like I thought of something. Yuan Kai's eyes suddenly lit up and he said with great joy. Chen Mo, are you Chen Mo? He was extremely surprised for a moment. Both of them are children of the same class from a nursing home in Tianquan City. The pressure all over Yuan Kai's body relaxed in an instant. He didn't seem to expect that he would meet an old acquaintance in this place. It turns out it's you, Chen Mo. You really scared me to death. Chen Mo's face was expressionless. My relationship with Qiongqi is not good. In my memory, Qiongqi often bullied him when he was very young, and then he was adopted by a family. The relationship between himself and Qiongqi is not even a friend. Chen Mo said nothing, but Qiongqi breathed a sigh of relief with lingering fear. Scared me to death, scared me to death. As if he was familiar with it, he slowly stood up from the ground. He patted his sleeves and said with a smile, Chen Mo, you really shocked me just now. As Qiongqi stood up, he consciously touched the piece of bread on the ground. Roar. At this time, Qiongqi took a step forward and growled at him. Looking at the ferocious beast in front of him, Qiongqi felt terrified all over. His hands froze in midair and he said with a sneer, Chen Mo, it's been such a long time no see. Did you kill all those zombies? He recalled Chen Mo's terrifying strength before. Those zombies couldn't even move past one round in Chen Mo's hands. Chen Mo said calmly while searching for edible food. Seeing Chen Mo searching so unscrupulously for the area that he had never dared to explore. Qiongqi swallowed unconsciously. You know, those places. There were dozens of zombies wandering around before. Qiongqi rolled his eyes and stepped forward. Hey, Chen Mo, I haven't seen you for so many years. I didn't expect you to change so much now. Have you never left Tianquan City in these years? Because they are not very familiar with each other, and the relationship between the two is limited to the nursing home. Chen Mo didn't really want to talk to him. Yes. Qiongqi knows how to observe words and emotions very well. It was obvious at a glance that Chen Mo didn't want to talk to him. But judging from the strength that Chen Mo showed just now, Chen Mo is now. He is no longer the weakling that he could easily bully before. Qiongqi chuckled, rubbed his head apologetically. There was a hint of awe in his tone, and his expression was respectful. Hey, Chen Mo, we haven't seen each other for more than 10 years, right? I never imagined that when we meet again, we will be in this place. It's true that things and people are different. Chen Mo, are you also planning to go to the safe zone? P.S. I was sweating all day long. It's better to hang up the water tomorrow. There is only one chapter today. I will make up for the one I owe. Please forgive me. Chen Mo, safe zone. Qiongqi, it's the safety zone in North China City, where all the military personnel are. Now, several local military regions have issued orders. As long as you reach the safe areas of all parties, you will not have to worry about food, water, and safety. I heard the news 5 or 6 days ago when I was in Guangxia City. Then I took my girlfriend all the way here and prepared to go to North China. Chen Mo nodded slightly when he heard the words. 5 or 6 days ago, I had already left that place in the old city. I had never paid attention to the broadcasts along the way. From this point of view, it is less than 2 months. Have safe zones been set up in the major military regions? Chen Mo thought secretly. This speed is almost the same as in the previous life. After all, that's where the people, resources, and firepower are most abundant. It is also the safest place in the apocalypse. Qiongqi's eyes turned gurglingly, and he noticed the food collected in Chen Mo's hands. He said in an attempt to be approachable. Hey, Chen Mo, we haven't seen you for so many years, what have you been doing? Back then, most of our group of people left. Many people are living quite well now. Do you remember the meow meow that everyone in the nursing home loved? I heard that I was adopted by a wealthy family in Tianquan City and they all went abroad. If you had taken the initiative at that time, you would have been taken away. Chen Mo said lightly, it's pretty good to live alone. Qiongqi was startled, seeing Chen Mo's expressionless face, as if he didn't want to talk about this. He took the initiative to end the topic. Said. Chen Mo, are you planning to go to North China too? How about we go together? We two old friends haven't seen each other for so long. It's safer to go together. If your guess is correct, Chen Mo should also be a person with superpowers. Moreover, his powers are probably much stronger than his own. Otherwise, it would be impossible to kill those zombies so easily. Chen Mo paused. He took a deep look at Qiongqi. This cold and distant look made Qiongqi feel a little creepy. In the apocalypse, as long as you don't meddle in your own business, you can avoid many accidents. This is the experience summarized by Chen Mo. It's enough to have Qiongqi and Shaxi God, so take this guy with you. It will only slow down your own pace and retreat. Chen Mo said lightly. No need, I still have things to do. Good food collection. Qiongqi. After saying that, Chen Mo took Qiongqi with him and turned to leave. Ah, Qiongqi was dumbfounded, trying to save Dao. Wait. He and his little girlfriend finally found a hiding place, and the food they came with had already been eaten. If Chen Mo just left like this, what else would he have to eat? But before he could speak, Chen Mo was riding Qiongqi. I left this high-speed service station in an instant. Only Qiongqi is left in a daze. Qiongqi couldn't help but tremble all over, and his expression became more ferocious. Hateful. If we can't find any more food, Xiaoya and I will starve to death here. The zombies here just happened to be cleared away by Chen Mo. Qiongqi endured the sticky blood and minced meat on the ground, and rummaged through it with disgust on his face to see if there was any food left. No, there is no such thing. Still none. Qiongqi collapsed immediately, his face full of anger. I hate why Chen Mo didn't leave any food for himself when he left. This trash. What a beast. There's not even any food left for me. Thankfully we are still old friends. Doesn't he know that Xiaoya and I haven't eaten for many days? So unkind. Qiongqi was so angry that he beat his chest and stamped his feet. In his eyes, no matter how many zombies Chen Mo killed, they were still humans after all. If you are a human being, there is nothing to be afraid of. Isn't it just that you are lucky enough to have a relatively powerful superpower? What the hell? Qiongqi angrily got back into the hole. High speed. Qiongqi is galloping on this highway. Leaving the area close to the city, there is no population nearby. There were only 3 or 2 scattered zombies encountered around. Chen Mo couldn't help but recall what Qiongqi said before. His parents died when he was very young. I once stayed in a nursing home for 4 or 5 years. It wasn't until all the friends around him were picked up one by one that he left the nursing home and chose to work. And in the nursing home, there was a little girl who followed him every day. But these memories are too far away. By now, Chen Mo was already a little confused. If he hadn't met Qiongqi today, he might not be able to remember many things. Chen Mo put away his wandering thoughts and took out the map. He looked up at the high-speed sign and said, Qiongqi, go in that direction. Sitting down, Qiongqi roared and ran even faster. Within the next few days, Chen Mo and Qiongqi were on the road almost day and night. One person and one beast are all alone. Every time they pass by a high-speed server site, they will stop and rest for a while. And get a little food. Until this day, Chen Mo and Qiongqi were on their way as usual. Suddenly, I seemed to notice something. About 300 meters ahead. Several huge trucks. It was like a checkpoint, directly blocking the way. There were about 20 or 30 people outside the truck. That extremely familiar scene, 15 years after the end of the world. Chen Mo naturally understood what kind of people those were. It's them, Chen Mo murmured. These people were very famous in the early days of the end of the world. Blocker. After the safety zones in each major area are established. Calling on survivors who are living outside to come. As for the survivors outside, if they want to get to the military area, most of them can only take the highway. These desperados precisely targeted this period and blocked it at the pass. In this way, a large number of crystal nuclei are collected. Bullying men and dominating women, doing all kinds of evil. It took a long time until the military district discovered that there were very few survivors and did not notice the existence of these people. After sending people to expel them, these opportunistic blockers gradually disappeared. And the most ridiculous thing is that in the last days there are no rules. It is often these people who live the best lives. Chen Mo's eyes flickered. When he was reborn and went to the military area, he was also saddened by such people because of his inability. It took more than a month to dig out the crystal core before leaving. However, now that I have seen these people here, that also proves his current position. It should not be far from Huabei City. At this moment, there were several large trucks parked on the highway. One by one, the men holding weapons and looking like ruffians were carrying a small bench. Sitting there smoking cigarettes, all of them crossed their legs with comfortable expressions. Opposite them, 5 or 6 survivors with frightened expressions and ragged clothes had their hands tied. In the crowd, a bald man with a very respectful expression came to a fierce-looking scarred man. Click. He lit a cigarette for him respectfully. Ha! Feng Tianyu took a deep breath with great enjoyment. Yoren said, comfortable. How many survivors are here today? Feng Tianyu asked coldly. At this time, the bald man said respectfully. Brother Feng, this is the sixth one. Feng Tianyu stood up and came to the group of survivors. He noticed one of the beautiful women and squatted down. The devil's claws stretched out unscrupulously, constantly needing and taking advantage. Not bad, not bad. Among today's group of survivors, there are two women who are pretty good looking. The woman's delicate body trembled. She was so humiliated that she just bite on Feng Tianyu's hand. But Feng Tianyu seemed to feel no pain and grinned evilly. Pa! He slapped him hard in the face. You beasts! Let go of my wife. The man next to the woman growled with red eyes. Why are you talking to Brother Feng? The younger brother directly picked up the stick and hit the man on the back of the head in an instant. Bang! The man suddenly fell to the ground bleeding. I don't know life or death. The younger brother was stunned, as if he didn't expect this guy to be so fragile. Somewhat disbelievingly, he stepped forward and touched it, then raised his head and said with a stern expression. Brother Feng, he is dead. Wow! The survivors all looked horrified after hearing this. The woman's eyes went black and she fainted. Dead. Feng Tianyu paused. There was no blame, but laughter and scolding. You, Xiaowu, be gentler next time. Hit the back of the head, and I'll give you a sap trick someday. If you die, you will die. There will be new survivors here every day. Anyway, there is no shortage of this one. Feng Tianyu laughed wildly. Brothers, you must know that these are the last days. We are the bosses here. Ha 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 ha. I don't blame you if so many people die. I've finished enjoying the two women here, and everyone has a share. Ha ha ha. A group of people around also laughed. Brother Feng is mighty. A human life is worthless in the eyes of desperados like them. You bunch of beasts. You will be punished. At this time, one of the survivors, who looked like a student, roared hoarsely. They came together cautiously, thinking they were about to arrive in Huabei City. Able to seek asylum in the military area. But I didn't want to meet these beasts here. Oh, the voice lengthened. Feng Tianyu narrowed his eyes slightly and looked over with a hint of killing intent. He said with a smile. Little brother, I think you are still a little confused about the situation. Feng Tianyu came to the student with a smile and lifted him up with one hand. Then he suddenly punched him in the abdomen. Boom. PFF'd. The student rolled his eyes and spat out a mouthful of blood. Feng Tianyu threw it away like trash. He spat disdainfully. HMPH, a bunch of losers who only know how to seek asylum in the military zone. Brothers, they all work with principles. Do you want to pass the test? Yes, you can pay the customs fee. Man, give us 100 rank 1 crystal cores, and then you can leave. Female, you can serve our brothers for a week and then you can leave. Heavenly King is here, too. If not, Feng Tianyu laughed evilly and said with a cold expression. Then I'll send you to the west. Ha ha ha. Here, we are the emperors. Yes, Brother Feng, this is pretty good. You can leave after paying the customs fee. If it were Zhao Bin and the others, you wouldn't be able to leave even if you pay the customs fee. The faces of the few survivors present were extremely pale and bloodless. In this apocalyptic world where humans eat humans, they realize for the first time that what is more terrifying than zombies is the human heart. Feng Tianyu put out the cigarette in his hand and sat back down. He shook his legs leisurely and squinted his eyes comfortably. It's so comfortable. Even the air is sweet. Hey, Brother Feng, that guy yesterday was pretty good, right? It's said that he was once an internet celebrity with millions of followers. If this was done in a peaceful time, it would cost hundreds of thousands. More than that, at least 1 million. As soon as he said this, Feng Tianyu licked his mouth with some emotion. Do you think I don't know about your little thoughts? Don't worry, when I get tired of playing with her, I will leave her to you to play with. Tisk, tisk, that taste. Thinking about this group of people, most of them will be a group of hooligans before the end of the world comes. And he, Feng Tianyu, was burdened with a murder case and was supposed to spend more than 20 years in prison. But I didn't want such an apocalyptic natural disaster to happen. Feng Tianyu, who has awakened his supernatural powers, is as happy as a fish in water in this apocalyptic world. He can be as happy as he wants. Feng Tianyu couldn't help but murmured. It's so cool, this is the paradise for the strong. Freed from all restraints, you can only do whatever you want based on your strength. I'll take a nap and send people to send these survivors back. Don't call me if you have nothing to do. Feng Tianyu said. He just finished speaking. The younger brother beside him said. Brother Feng, look there seems to be another survivor. That person is so fast. Wait, what is he riding? Is that a tiger? Noisy voices echoed around him one after another. Many of the younger brothers present had their eyes widened. He looked at Qiongqi and Chen Mo in disbelief as they rushed toward them at extremely fast speeds. One by one, their mouths grew. Feng Tianyu frowned and opened his eyes with some displeasure. I told you not to bother me. But soon, he was stunned. What the hell is this? The survivors also stared blankly at the approaching beast in the distance and the man on its back. Are you here to save us? The brothers around him were startled and picked up their weapons. Brother Feng, what the hell is this guy? You scared me. Brother Feng, is this also a person with superpowers? Feng Tianyu reacted quickly and his face darkened. He shouted from afar at Chen Mo who was running towards him. Stop for me. Who are you? But Chen Mo on Qiongqi's back didn't even hear it. He spoke expressionlessly. Qiongqi. Sitting down, Qiongqi roared knowingly. Wei Wei jumps high behind her back. Boom, the gravel flew under his feet, and the land sunk. This jump was a full 6 to 7 meters, even higher than the truck. It was simply breathtaking. What the hell? Even Feng Tianyu couldn't help but be stunned. Broken. Brother Feng, this guy wants to charge the card. Stop him. Seeing that the young man on the beast's back was indifferent, Feng Tianyu's face turned cold for a moment. Brother Zhe, no one has dared to rush the card right under my nose, Feng Tianyu. If I really let you go today, where will I put my face? Get off here. Boom. Feng Tianyu waved his hand. Suddenly, the surrounding magnetic field within a range of tens of meters seemed to change in an instant. The extremely heavy pressure made the big trucks behind them groan slightly. The expressions of the younger brothers around him changed and they hurried to Feng Tianyu's side. It's broken. Is Brother Feng going to use that move? Sea-level superpower, gravitational magnetic field. It can change the surrounding magnetic field instantly. As a rank 1 superpower, Feng Tianyu can increase the gravity of the surrounding magnetic field several times in an instant. Qiongqi, who was about to cross over the big truck, suddenly felt the gravity exerting pressure from his surroundings. Falling downwards. Roar. Chen Mo narrowed his eyes slightly when he saw this. He glanced at Feng Tianyu below with some surprise. Stranger, but today's Qiongqi is a rank 2 alien species. This small gravity can only slow down some Qiongqi's speed but cannot change anything. Qiongqi jumped up high again. Seeing that his invincible power has failed today, Feng Tianyu couldn't help feeling that he had lost face. His eyes were even colder. I told you, no one can pass without paying. It will be the same even if the Heavenly King comes. He clapped his hands directly and turned into a fist and slammed it down. Boom, the surrounding magnetic field becomes heavier. There was even a crack in the ground beneath his feet. The few survivors over there who were in the gravity of the magnetic field were even more miserable. They hit the ground hard, unable to move at all, as if they were locked. This huge pressure made each of them look pale and bloodless, and even their internal organs were shaking. What's more, some people fainted directly under this high-intensity pressure. Feng Tianyu stared at Qiongqi in the sky. Mobilize all your powers to press towards Qiongqi. It was like a giant hammer hitting it. Qiongqi quickly adjusted his position. But it still fell under this high-intensity gravity. He stared at the crowd with a ferocious expression and his voice roared like thunder. Roar. When seeing such a huge and extremely ferocious Qiongqi, they had never seen such a terrifying beast. This made the younger brothers around Feng Tianyu couldn't help but tremble and tremble. He shrank his head and said, Brother Feng, what kind of beast is this? Tiger, but why did it grow another pair of horns? The end of the world has been coming for so long. They have seen many alien species, but they have never seen such a terrifying and ferocious beast. Of course, not everyone is afraid of Qiongqi's appearance. What are you afraid of? With Brother Feng here, can we change the world? Feng Tianyu stared at Chen Mo opposite him and looked him up and down for a while. He said coldly, "Hey, kid, are you also a superpower? I was talking to you just now. Are you deaf?" Chen Mo's face was expressionless. Looking at the group of blockers in front of him, he couldn't help but frown. "The boss is talking to you," a younger brother shouted. Feng Tianyu said with a sinister expression. "Boy, you can pass the level if you want, but you have to hand over some crystal cores before passing the level. For ordinary people, 100 rank 1 crystal cores are enough. If you are a superpower, it is not the price." He has seen a lot of people with superpowers, including in their team of barrier breakers. Those who can become little leaders are all superpowers, otherwise they really wouldn't have the ability to dare to stop here. The surrounding magnetic field and gravity still haven't disappeared. Chen Mo said calmly, "Step aside. Do you want to die?" "What?" Feng Tianyu picked his ears, as if he heard something funny. Laughed. "Boy, you don't think that people with superpowers are invincible, do you? I tell you, in front of me, even if you are a dragon, you have to be coiled by me, and if you are a tiger, you have to lie down for me. If you don't hand over these 300 crystal cores, then I won't blame you for being rude." PFF'd. As he spoke, a terrifying black water droplet suddenly shot towards him. The speed is so fast and the goal is clear. Feng Tianyu's pupils shrank sharply. Feel this huge murderous aura. Immediately, he secretly said something bad, so he directly raised his hand to resist with his right hand. Release the magnetic field gravity. Buzz. The huge gravity pressed down directly. But Chen Mo is a rank 3 superpower, and the master he controls is even more powerful. It is far beyond what ordinary superpowers can match. Under this, the gravity of the magnetic field seemed to not exist, and the black water droplet actually penetrated Feng Tianyu's right palm. PFF'd. A bloody hole suddenly appeared, with blood flowing continuously. Chen Mo said lightly, "Next time, it's your head." Feng Tianyu was shaken all over. This scene can be said to have stunned the younger brothers around him. Everyone's eyes widened, and the expressions on their faces were full of disbelief. Brother Feng was actually injured. How can this be? The excruciating pain soon came through my right hand. Layers of fine sweat appeared on Feng Tianyu's forehead. His expression gradually became extremely ferocious. In extreme pain, he covered his bleeding right hand and wailed. "Ah, I'm going to kill you. Who the hell are you? Such a powerful skill cannot even be stopped by the gravity of one's own magnetic field." Feng Tianyu could not imagine that such a person would appear in such a place. The black water droplets, without any trace of blood, returned to Chen Mo's side. Chen Mo watched this scene coldly. "I didn't want to get too entangled with these people. But these people blocking the border are really annoying. I've already given you the opportunity. One more thing, if you don't want to die, just get out of my way." Roar. Qiongqi beside him roared. Opening his bloody mouth, he released a monstrous killing intent. Feng Tianyu was sweating profusely in pain and his face was hideous. He roared in extreme pain. "Kill him." Feng Tianyu, like him, led a group of them to do evil and lawlessness on this highway. Have you ever suffered such a big loss? There is still a bloody hole in his right palm. Even those with strong physical abilities felt tremendous pain. Feng Tianyu endured the pain, tore a piece of white cloth from his pocket, bit it, and bandaged his right hand. Staring at Chen Mo with red eyes, said fiercely, If I don't kill you today, I won't be called Feng Tianyu. What the hell are you all doing here? Come on." Seeing a group of young men holding weapons in their hands, they dared not step forward. Feng Tianyu scolded angrily, "But Brother Feng is a superpower," one of the boys said fearfully with a look of fear of death. Even a strong man like Brother Feng had his palm pierced. So in the past, all of them started out as being cut off from melons and vegetables. Feng Tianyu's eyes widened angrily, with terrifying murderous intent bursting out of his eyes, and he yelled, "I'm here to help you. There are so many people, what are you afraid of? He has been controlled by me with my supernatural powers. Just give it to me." A bunch of trash. The gravity and magnetic field power is used again. Feng Tianyu reduced the gravitational magnetic field here to only Chen Mo's range. In this way, the gravity he can exert becomes more powerful. Boom. Chen Mo and Qiongqi suddenly felt that the pressure on them doubled, as if they were in danger. Even the ground beneath my feet began to crack. Sea-level superpower, gravitational field. Chen Mo's eyes flickered, and he could see through Feng Tianyu's superpower at a glance. The opportunity has been given by myself. Those who block customs have many resources. Food and crystal nuclei are all what I need now. Since these blockers still don't have eyes, they can't blame themselves. Killing people, cheating. After hearing this, the 5 or 6 boys on the other side rushed forward timidly. They are not like organized lions as a group of blockers. Most of them are desperados. Not to mention the large number of weapons and firearms controlled by Luo Tianshang. All of them were holding the simplest machetes and sticks. Go ahead and avenge Brother Feng. Seeing Chen Mo and the terrifying beast being restrained by Feng Tianyu's superpower. People number 5 and 6 all rushed forward. Chen Mo glanced at Qiongqi beside him. He didn't even bother to take action, but said with cold eyes. Qiongqi, go ahead, just keep one. Qiongqi next to him understood and roared directly. He rushed toward the 5 or 6 people on the opposite side like a tiger entering a flock of sheep. Just one look at this extremely terrifying beast made the 5 or 6 people frightened. Their legs became weak and they lost their will to fight. Soon, a shrill scream sounded. One of them actually had his legs broken off by Qiongqi. No! Don't kill me, spare my life. Qiongqi habitually opened his mouth and aimed at it. Under everyone's looks of horror, he actually bit off the man's head. At this moment, the few people who were fierce in appearance were frightened out of their wits. He weakly ran towards Feng Tianyu behind him. Feng Tianyu was sweating profusely, and he stared at Chen Mo who looked calm and indifferent across from him. And that terrifying beast, he was shocked in his heart. Are the two of them not affected by their own gravitational magnetic field at all? How is this possible? Feng Tianyu opened his mouth, feeling a little incredible. This has never happened since he awakened his skills. Brother Feng, help, help. I don't want to die. The group of people who were so majestic before now fled in front of Qiongqi. Feng Tianyu's expression suddenly changed, and he realized that he might have hit something hard today. His eyes kept flickering and he immediately spoke. Brother, this friend, it was our fault before, you can leave. We don't want this if it passes the tariff. Chen Mo sneered, a bit playful. Do you understand now? Late. If you are left behind by these blockers, you will definitely suffer inhuman torture. I originally didn't want to care about these things, and the survivors left behind by this group of people had nothing to do with me. But now that it's happened to me, then we can only blame them for their bad luck. Chen Mo raised his right hand slightly. The domination ability activates. A breathtaking scene appeared. The truck behind Feng Tianyu and others began to close uncontrollably. Even those tin boxes on the truck were twisted. It seemed to be moved by some invisible force, making a harsh friction sound. With a final boom, the trucks collided with each other, blocking the escape route behind him. Feng Tianyu's breath suffocated. What is this power? His face suddenly changed, and his expression turned extremely ugly in an instant. Looking at Chen Mo, he took a deep breath and said, Brother, this time we were wrong. Keep a line in your behavior so that we can meet each other easily in the future. But you know there are many of our own people around here. This was his confidence. Such a big movement here must have attracted the attention of those who blocked the border at other checkpoints. Chen Mo still looked calm. He said quietly, kill as many as you come. Feng Tianyu's pupils shrank sharply. It seems that he can't believe that such a young guy who looks like a student in front of him is actually more ruthless than himself. Roar! The beast roared again. Qiongqi was extremely fast and resolute, moving through the crowd. One of them was disemboweled with one palm, blood spurted out, a huge wound appeared on his abdomen, and even his intestines were pulled out. The man's face was full of horror, and he looked at the bloody scene numbly. Before he could even take another look, screams came from the other side. Massacre. One-sided massacre. Even if it is a rank 1 mutant, it is definitely not something that ordinary people can resist, let alone Qiongqi, who is a rank 2. The magnetic field and gravity here have no effect on its actions at all. Seeing this scene, Feng Tianyu couldn't help but tremble all over. What kind of monster is this? He directly took out a rank 1 crystal core and absorbed the power within it. Holding back the severe pain, he intertwined his left hand with his right hand, using all his strength. Release the gravitational magnetic field, trying to buy yourself a chance to escape. Feng Tianyu's eyes were red with a hint of bloodshot eyes. Shout loudly. Gravity magnetic field. Kakakaka. At this critical moment of life and death, his rank 1 special gravity magnetic field burst out with power that did not belong to rank 1. The ground in front of him gradually opened countless cracks and spread toward Qiongqi and Shen, as if it was about to collapse. Qiongqi's huge body sank several feet deep into the ground. Feng Tianyu was overjoyed and hurriedly climbed over the twisted trucks. Trying to escape from this place. Chen Mo narrowed his eyes slightly. A sharp black droplet of water flowed directly from the onikiri on the waist, heading towards Feng Tianyu for a sure kill. Su! A sound broke through the air. And just then, from the direction behind him, a scolding sound suddenly sounded. Stop it! One was wearing a black leather coat and had big waves. A plump and hot woman rides a black motorcycle with a huge engine rumbling from a distance. But it's too late. The black water droplet penetrated Feng Tianyu's forehead, and even his skull was penetrated and shattered. Boom! Feng Tianyu, who was climbing on the truck, was shocked. Then he fell to the ground with a bang. A small bloody hole on the forehead was constantly flowing with white brain matter and sticky blood. No life left. Chen Mo didn't stop at all because of this voice. He glanced at the person behind him coldly. In the distance, I saw a group of people approaching in great force. Riding in off-road vehicles or pickup trucks, some pulled the handlebars and leaned out. Each one is holding a weapon and is coming menacingly. See, Feng Tianyu was killed. Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes in the distance condensed, and her pretty face immediately became extremely angry. I told you to stop. Wang Wang. She came speeding on a black motorcycle and made a sharp turn of 180 degrees. The huge engine sound was deafening, and it stopped in place. Liao Ruyu raised her hand without saying a word. Waves of whistling sounds sounded, and white ripples rippled around. Suddenly a strong wind blew up in the field and hit Chen Mo. Chen Mo frowned. Also a person with superpowers. Roar! Qiongqi beside him roared, slapping his palm directly towards the cluster of wind. Scatter it all away. A-level power, storm. Brother Feng. Miss, Lao Feng is dead. Behind Liao Ruyu, who has big waves and a hot figure. Several large cars stopped, and one after another burly men got out of them. Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes were filled with coldness as she stared at Chen Mo opposite. Under the leather black windbreaker jacket, she has a proud figure with well-proportioned curves. A pair of long, plump and straight legs, wearing mid-calf leather boots, looking slim and hot. Liao Ruyu said coldly, "You killed them all." Chen Mo looked calm and asked indifferently, "Can't kill." Liao Ruyu narrowed her beautiful eyes, her delicate and pretty face full of displeasure. Looking at the corpses on the ground, he couldn't help but frown. "Your Excellency, we have no grievances against you. It's not good for you to kill so many of us." From then on, the method that the person just showed was obviously a person with superpowers. Moreover, being able to single-handedly kill Feng Tianyu and his group is definitely not an ordinary superpower. The beast next to him had just interrupted his own storm. This shows that the opponent is at least a rank 2 superpower. Looking at Chen Mo's face, she felt familiar for some reason. It's like I've seen it somewhere before. Liao Ruyu recalled it carefully. Chen Mo took a look at the woman in front of him. He climbed on Qiongqi's body unhurriedly and said slowly, "I'm going to Huabei City. I don't care what you do. But anyone who dares to stop me will end up like those guys. There are so many of us here, and you still dare to speak so loudly." The strong man scolded with an angry look on his face. "Give it all to me. Avenge Feng Tianyu." Wait. At this time, Liao Ruyu spoke. Her beautiful eyes flashed, and she tried to suppress the fear in her heart. Is your name Chen Mo?" Chen Mo frowned when he heard this and said nothing. Does she know herself? Seeing that the other party did not deny it, Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes became even brighter. She pondered for a moment and then raised her hand and spoke. Everyone put down their weapons. Miss. A group of people around him were a little confused. Feng Tianyu is a sharp weapon. He is dead. Liao Ruyu turned her head and stared at them coldly. I told you to put it down, didn't you hear me? She was obviously a woman, but there was an inexplicable cruelty about her. Seeing this, the young men behind him could only put down their weapons helplessly. Liao Ruyu looked at Chen Mo and suddenly said, "Friend, can we have a chat? Don't worry, I won't pursue the matter of Feng Tianyu's death. If you want to go to the military area, then I advise you not to go there." She knows Chen Mo. In the news passed down by the 6th Military Region, this man actually killed Lin Anhei's son and was the most wanted criminal. Liao Ruyu looked at Chen Mo with a half-smile, without revealing his identity, and said, "Instead of going to the military area, you might as well come to Longgang as a guest." His face changes very quickly, and 1 second ago he was still a relentless enemy. Miss. Seeing this scene, everyone around them felt a little incredible. The strong man sighed and thought to himself, "It's probably because the young lady has some love for talents. Feng Tianyu was originally recruited by Liao Ruyu, but now he gave up." When Chen Mo saw this, he said very coldly, "Didn't anyone tell you that your smile is fake?" Liao Ruyu's smile froze. "Chen Mo, Qiongqi, let's go. Although I don't understand why she recognizes myself. But I was too lazy to argue with this woman so much, since the other party had no intention of taking action. So the top priority is to go to Huabei City. In front of this group of people, the crystal nuclei from the dead Feng Tianyu and others were searched. Chen Mo and Qiongqi just wanted to leave this place." Liao Ruyu's voice came again from behind. "If you go 2 kilometers further, you are our Longgang people. If you go 4 kilometers further, you are still our people. As far as Huabei City, everyone you meet will be our people. Your Excellency, how about we talk about it?" Chen Mo stopped. Then he grinned and turned to look at her. "Then you'd better ask your people to give way. Otherwise, the fate here will be their fate." Liao Ruyu's pretty face changed, and the plumpness of her chest became higher. Chen Mo didn't give her any chance to speak. Qiongqi, who was sitting down, roared, crawled down, and finally jumped up high. Even 2 holes were crushed in the ground, and he walked away. "Miss, did we let him go so easily?" the strong man beside him asked in confusion. "I don't know if he is cold by nature or just like that, after seeing Feng Tianyu and his group die. I didn't feel much, and my mood was as dull as water." Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes twinkled, her hair as black and shiny as ocean waves fluttering, and she spoke coldly. "If not, Feng Tianyu is not an ordinary person. Since he killed all the people here by himself, is there any way we can stop him? I have told my uncle a long time ago that those who can come from all the way now must be some powerful superpowers. Even if Feng Tianyu doesn't die today, he will have to suffer this loss sooner or later. They won't even give us guns. Cooperating with them is tantamount to seeking the skin of a tiger." Liao Ruyu's pretty face was full of coldness. "Only my uncle would do such a thankless task." Before the end of the world, their Longgang group was a large enterprise producing heavy industry and steel in North China. Those who can contaminate the field of heavy industry naturally have black and white methods. And Liao Ruyu is the niece of the chairman of Longgang Group. The strong man frowned and explained, "But miss, this is all the chairman's intention." Liao Ruyu raised her hand and said impatiently, "I know that my uncle has received a lot of care from that person to be where he is today. But haven't we given that person enough gifts over the years? Now in the last days, our Longgang Group is such a big force, and it occupies several of the largest steel plants in North China City. The time, place and people are favorable. I no longer need to look at their faces to act." Among today's major survivors, the idea of independence is not only shared by Luo Tianshang of the Lions. For ordinary people, this is the end of the world with natural and man-made disasters and many crises. And for these big bosses who were in high positions and numbered more than 10,000 people before the end of the world, as long as not everyone died. It's still about what you should do, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Liao Ruyu glanced at the corpses on the ground and the few survivors not far away. He said calmly, "You should dispose of the bodies here. I'll go over there." "Miss, what do you want?" "Go after us, otherwise all the people in front of us will die like Feng Tianyu." Chen Mo. The corner of Liao Ruyu's mouth showed a nice curve. "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." She rode directly on the black motorcycle. Use the storm ability. In the field, a stinging wind suddenly blew. The motorcycle under the seat actually took off in the wind and landed directly on top of those large trucks. The engine roared and headed towards the location where Chen Mo left. The strong man sighed and looked at Feng Tianyu's body with some pity. The young lady has a cold and ruthless temperament. Seeing this, the feud can be put to rest. However, it's not the first one. What are you doing here? Work. Qiongqi is extremely fast. After a while, they moved for 1 or 2 kilometers. And not far away, directly in front, it was exactly as the woman said. There are also a group of blockers stationed here. Chen Mo couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. These blockers are almost everywhere at the entrance to Huabei City. No matter which entrance you come from, you can't avoid it. Qiongqi, rush over, Chen Mo said coldly. I don't have time to waste time here with them. Roar, Qiongqi roared, charging all the way. This huge and majestic tiger could be said to have frightened the group of people directly in front of them. Even the rank 1 superpower user hasn't started using his superpower yet. Then he saw with his own eyes that the big truck behind him and others was smashed through a huge hole. Boom! What the hell? What is that? I didn't even see it clearly. Then, an engine roar sounded behind him. Liao Ruyu followed closely. Seeing the beautiful and hot figure on the black motorcycle not far away, everyone watching here widened their eyes. Miss Liao, why are you here? Get out of my way. Liao Ruyu didn't stay here too long. The whole person was lying flat on the black motorcycle, and the plump peaks were squeezed. Her curvy figure and straight, voluptuous thighs clung to the motorcycle. The head is full of big waves. He rushed through the big hole made by Qiongqi very quickly. Many people's eyes widened when they saw it, and they couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Miss Liao has such a good figure. Who says it's not? Qiongqi, who passed one level after another, still never stopped. And just then, behind, suddenly there was a scolding sound. Etc. Chen Mo was slightly startled. He glanced behind him. A look of surprise appeared in his eyes. Behind him, Liao Ruyu was seen riding a motorcycle. With the blessing of the storm power, the speed reached almost 400 yards. Speeding on this highway, like a black lightning, it followed up in just a few breaths. Chen Mo was stunned. This woman, what are you doing? Liao Ruyu came directly to Qiongqi, wearing a helmet, and said loudly. I told you to wait. I have something to tell you. Even Chen Mo couldn't help but be speechless when he saw this scene. He patted Qiongqi who was sitting down and whispered. Qiongqi, stop. Qiongqi roared, and his huge body stopped on the highway. The urn. Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes were filled with joy, and she also slowed down and stopped. She took off her helmet, revealing her beautiful black waves, delicate face, and hot figure. Get off the black motorcycle and come to Chen Mo. He was not afraid of Qiongqi's presence at all, but instead extended his hand generously. My name is Liao Ruyu, the niece of the chairman of Longgang Group, please meet me. Chen Mo stared at her and said without moving. If you have anything to say, just say it. I'm in a hurry. Liao Ruyu was stunned. She thought she was outstanding in terms of both figure and appearance. Unexpectedly, the young man in front of him, who looked much younger than him, could be so cold. But she didn't care, and instead spoke. Chen Mo, I know you. Are you the guy who killed Lin Shu? If you want to seek asylum from the military region, you are making a big mistake. As soon as these words came out, the venue suddenly became a little cold. Chen Mo narrowed his eyes slightly and his expression gradually turned evil. Who are you? Liao Ruyu smiled brightly and charmingly. Didn't I say so, Liao Ruyu? Chen Mo moved his index finger slightly. Onikiri also began to tremble faintly. You know that's not what I meant. I went to Huabei City this time to find you, and I didn't want to contact people from the military region so early. Liao Ruyu didn't care at all about Chen Mo's undisguised murderous intent. Giggling, it seems that I remembered it well, and I really found someone. Don't worry, Chen Mo, I have no hostility towards you. Not many people know about this news. My uncle told me to pay attention to it. I don't have the ability to send you to the military area, nor will I spread the news that you are here. Chen Mo stared at her and said calmly. It seems that you are still in contact with people from that military region. Liao Ruyu showed a sly smile. her beautiful eyes curved into a half-moon shape, and she said in a very beautiful way. Want to trick me? Actually, it doesn't hurt to tell you. Our Longgang group is indeed related to the military region. It can even be said that we now represent the military region. Do you think that without the permission of the military region, our Longgang group would dare to block the border here unscrupulously? Oh, Chen Mo became interested. What do you mean, you still do things for the military region? Even before his rebirth, he had never heard that these blockers in the early days of the apocalypse were related to the military region. Listening to what this woman said, it seemed that it was not that simple. Liao Ruyu stretched out, brazenly showing off her proud figure. He said with a lazy expression, "Humph, it's just some interests. Allowing survivors to seek refuge in safe areas is a mandatory order from the central government, rather than the wishes of those military leaders. Now a large amount of firepower from all major military regions has been sent out to save the heirs and relatives of those high-ranking officials. Think about it, the safe zone has just been established, how many people there are to support under several military regions. If survivors from all over the place rush into the military area in droves, how will food, shelter, and resources be distributed?" Speaking of this, Liao Ruyu's pretty face was full of disdain and she said coldly, "So, it's not us who are preventing these survivors from coming to seek asylum. But there are people in the 6th war zone who are not willing to accept them yet." Chen Mo's eyes flickered when he heard this, and he probably knew what she meant. He said with a calm expression, "So what?" Liao Ruyu kept wandering around him, looking at Chen Mo curiously with her beautiful eyes. "With all that said, I actually just want to tell you one thing. I have no ill intentions towards you. In fact, we still have a chance to be friends. Can you understand?" Chen Mo said lightly, "The people who follow you are really pitiful." Liao Ruyu said nonchalantly, "Are you talking about Feng Tianyu? If that guy didn't have a special power, I would have killed him long ago. The reputation of our Longgang group will be completely ruined by it. But having said that, you are really brave. Chen Mo, do you know that many people from the 6th military region have gone to Tianquan City to arrest you and perform meritorious service? At this point, you actually dare to come to Huabei City alone. Should I say that you are too confident, or that you don't know how to live or die?" Liao Ruyu said with a smile. "But you were lucky enough to meet me. Don't worry, I won't spread the news that you are here, but as a condition, you have to cooperate with me, Long Gang, how about it?" Chen Mo's right fingertips moved slightly. All of a sudden, one by one, extremely sharp blades condensed from metal floated and aimed at her from all directions. "As long as I think about it, you will soon become a hedgehog," Chen Mo said. Seeing this scene, Liao Ruyu was slightly frightened. This guy is indeed the person the military region is looking for. What a powerful ability, but she didn't show it. Instead, he raised his eyebrows, held the two peaks with his hands and said calmly, "Chen Mo, 21 years old, was born in a nursing home and worked in Jiajia supermarket. Superpower, able to control metal steel balls and affect bullets. Preliminary judgment should be that it can control metal. Am I right?" Liao Ruyu said calmly. To be honest, although the surface is calm, but her heart couldn't stop beating at this moment. After all, he is a rank 2 superpower. When Chen Mo used his power just now, he didn't even react at all. This shows that the other party is at least as rank 2 as himself, or even stronger. "If you kill me now, you won't know anything about the North China military region." Liao Ruyu expressed her own value. "We at Longgang Group do not want to become the good dog of the military region. At least, with me here, I can ensure that you will not be discovered by people from the military region in North China City. As I said before, cooperation, how about it?" Chen Mo stared at her beautiful and delicate face for a long time. Suddenly, the blades in front of him instantly turned into a pool of liquid. "Return to Onikiri again." Chen Mo nodded slightly. "Tell me, what kind of cooperation method? Now, he not only wants to find you must always beware of people from the military region taking action against you. If Huabei City's actions are exposed, they will inevitably be restricted everywhere." Before the dominance ability reached rank 4, Chen Mo didn't want to fight an entire military region. Liao Ruyu's face lit up. Her beautiful eyes looked at Chen Mo with bright eyes. He spoke immediately. How about you join our Longgang group and become mine? Chen Mo smiled and said with a hint of fun. Is this what you call cooperation? As the person you become like the person with powers before? I'm not interested. Liao Ruyu's delicate little face couldn't help but blush when she heard this. Said sternly, your strength is not comparable to that of Feng Tianyu. If you join our Longgang group, you will be one of our own from now on. Chen Mo, change it. Liao Ruyu sighed with regret. He said without paying too much attention. It's okay if you don't want to. Since it's cooperation, we still have to be sincere. In my sphere of influence, Longgang, I can guarantee that no one named Chen Mo will appear. To be honest, you have offended the military region. In fact, I am still very willing to make you a friend. Liao Ruyu winked and continued with a chuckle. I want you to deal with a mutant for our Longgang group. With your strength, it shouldn't be a problem. Chen Mo said without hesitation. Can. Liao Ruyu clapped her hands and praised, it's refreshing. And you, what do we need to do? Chen Mo, the news from the military region, and use your power to find someone for me. Looking for someone. Liao Ruyu frowned. This request is not uncommon, whether in the military region or Longgang group. Almost everyone wants to find their relatives and friends and bring them back to safety. There is no information available right now. If you can be sure that your friend is in Huabei City, you can give it a try. Liao Ruyu did not fully agree, but said, we at Longgang Group can only do our best. Now is no different than before. Putting aside whether the person you are looking for is still alive, looking for someone in such a big city like North China is undoubtedly like looking for a needle in a haystack. I think you should understand that this is not an easy task. Chen Mo nodded. I know. Liao Ruyu. What's your name? Chen Mo, Tang Xuanyu. Female. Liao Ruyu was stunned. A look of surprise appeared on his face. The pretty face is full of gossip. Good old friend. Obviously he is extremely interested in this woman named Tang Xuanyu. Chen Mo glanced at her and said nothing. Liao Ruyu. Do you know where she is? A student, or something? Chen Mo shook his head. The first time he and Yuer met was already several years after the end of the world. I only know that Yuer is in Huabei City. As for what Yuer did before the end of the world, she rarely mentioned it. Probably, he is still a student. Chen Mo said. Liao Ruyu frowned, feeling a little strange. What as should? Chen Mo said honestly, I'm not sure. Liao Ruyu sighed. I understand, I will try my best to help you do this. I will also ask people in the military region if they know her information. As for whether I can find it or not, I have to leave it to fate. Chen Mo lowered his eyes and said with twinkling eyes. Instead of searching like a headless fly. It would be better to use the power of this local snake in North China City. Liao Ruyu pondered for a moment and said. Given the sensitivity of your identity, it is impossible to enter Huabei City directly from the highway entrance. The people over there in the military area don't trust us. We are not the only ones at the entrance. Chen Mo, you can sneak into our team later and return to North China City with us. As for the pet next to you. Chapter 71. Speaking of this, Liao Ruyu stroked his forehead and couldn't help but feel a headache. Judging from the news from the military region, Chen Mo's pet is indeed extraordinary. Likewise, it is also one of Chen Mo's most distinctive features. Don't worry about Qiongqi, I have a way to hide it. Chen Mo said. Liao Ruyu smiled brightly. He stepped forward and patted Chen Mo on the shoulder. In that case, let's go and wait at that intersection. My people will probably be here soon and will take you into Huabei City. With that said, Liao Ruyu got directly onto his black motorcycle with a pleasant scent. Put on the helmet. He twisted the accelerator and said softly. Gone. Ong Wang. The engine started with a thunderous sound. Liao Ruyuping crawled on the motorcycle, like a queen in black, and sped off in an instant. There was no big fluctuation on Chen Mo's face. Turn around and look at Qiongqi Dao. Qiongqi, let's go. At an intersection that breaks into two parts. The urn, a huge noise came. The black motorcycle jumped high and directly crossed the highway that was broken into two halves. Boom, falling steadily to the ground. When we arrived at this area, the entire highway here had been cleaned up by the people from the Longgang group. Not a single living zombie could be seen. Liao Ruyu came to a sudden stop and stayed where she was. Look at Qiongqi coming from behind. He couldn't help but grinned and said softly, I think your pet is not as good as my Kawasaki. Roar. Qiongqi, who sat down, growled in dissatisfaction. Chen Mo looked around. This place happens to be a very high highway bridge, surrounded by mountains, empty and deserted, and it is really lonely. That's it. Wait here. My people should be here soon. Here, Liao Ruyu took out a pack of chocolates from somewhere and handed it over. Can you eat it? Chen Mo shook his head, took out a piece of bread and started to chew on it. Liao Ruyu came to an edge and sat down on a rock. He said while eating chocolate, I heard from the military area that you killed Lin Anhei's son Lin Shu. But there are more than 100 survivors in Tianquan City who were saved because of you. Chen Mo, why did you kill him? He has a grudge against you. Liao Ruyu looked over curiously. Not only her, but even the people in the military region still can't understand it. Why on earth would an ordinary guy want to kill Lin Shu? What was the motive for the killing? What's the reason? Nothing at all. Lin Shu. Chen Mo's eyes flickered. When the name was mentioned again, he was completely unfazed. Indeed, before the end of the world, Lin Shu was just a dandy second-generation official who had not had time to do anything. But these cannot affect his determination to kill him. Chen Mo didn't intend to explain anything. Because in the last days, there is no shortage of human lives. Seeing that he was unwilling to say more, Liao Ruyu was too sensible and didn't ask any more questions. He rolled his hair and said softly, the Lin family was not simple before the end of the world. Now that it is the end of the world, they are even more unscrupulous in their actions. The head of the 6th War Zone has a close relationship with the Lin family, and everything he does now has the shadow of the Lin family. I guess they will live here for a long time after the central government's affairs are settled. Quote, no matter how strong you are on your own, you can't possibly defeat so many people in the military area. How about joining our Longgang group? Liao Ruyu said without forgetting her original intention. Chen Mo said with calm eyes. When did I say that I was alone? His greatest asset is his natural power. With the power of heaven, he alone can fight thousands of troops. Apart from Yuer, Chen Mo only believed in his own strength and the alien species of gods subdued by Tianquan. Chen Mo stopped talking and said calmly, what is the alien species you want me to deal with? From my own impression, I remember that there was no special existence in Huabei City, and there were no gods at all. A mutated freshwater crocodile. Mentioning this matter, Liao Ruyu's pretty face showed a hint of hatred. At first, it appeared in Jingyan Lake in North China City, and the military region sent troops to suppress it. But somehow, a few days later, he appeared near our Longgang Group factory and wreaked havoc. A large amount of materials collected by our Longgang Group were stored there. Quote, I suspect that people from the 6th Military Region did it deliberately. Although their Longgang Group is more powerful than the lions in Tianquan City, they can't get weapons and firearms at all. Even if they cooperate closely with the 6th Military Region, the other party is not willing to provide support for these weapons at all. Just relying on the power of the rank 1 superpowers of the Longgang Group will not help at all. But not everyone can kill the gods single-handedly like Chen Mo in the early stages of the apocalypse. In the early days of the apocalypse, the best thing to use is bullets. Chen Mo thought for a while after hearing this. Crocodile. I don't seem to remember the existence of this alien species in my memory. At least, not as famous as Qiongqi. Chen Mo couldn't help but smile. It seems that the thighs of this military region are not easy to hold. Liao Ruyu snorted, her delicate face covered with frost. Aren't you afraid that our Longgang Group will escape their control? We have a lot of steel here. It would be great if it could be operational again. Intercepting those survivors and deliberately letting go of that strange crocodile are all targeting our Longgang Group. However, there is no way around this. After all, the base of the 6th War Zone was established near Huabei City. One inside and one outside. If Longgang Group really becomes the boss of North China City, it is naturally not what the senior leaders of the 6th War Zone want to see. Chen Mo and Liao Ruyu chatted for a while. It can be seen that Liao Ruyu has a lot of resentment towards the 6th War Zone. It's just what I want. If the 6th War Zone really takes control of Huabei City, then he will not be able to find you safely. Moreover, since the steel factory is the most suitable place for one to dominate the world, it is an invincible place. At this time, suddenly, the sound of a group of people and vehicles, rumbling, came from not far away. This voice, Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes lit up, she stood up from the ground and said, "They're coming." When she turned her head again, her pupils suddenly shrank. He looked at Chen Mo in disbelief. I saw the huge beast that was crawling next to Chen Mo just a second ago. The next thing is suddenly gone. Liao Ruyu took a deep look at Chen Mo. Miss. At this moment, the strong man from before got off the off-road vehicles that were arriving one after another. Noticing Chen Mo's presence, the strong man frowned, obviously unhappy. Miss, what are you doing? Liao Ruyu. There were some misunderstandings before, and we have made it clear. He will follow us soon. The strong man frowned even more when he heard this. But since it was the lady's order, he couldn't say much. He could only nod his head, glared at Chen Mo behind Liao Ruyu, and said very unhappy. Boarding. Let's go back to Huabei City. Chen Mo and a group of men sat in the back of a large truck. The car was solemn and silent, with 5 or 6 men with gloomy faces sitting there, holding iron bars and some crude weapons. He looked at Chen Mo with an evil expression. The surrounding environment is a bit dark and the scene is solemn. Chen Mo sat in a random position and closed his eyes, nurturing spirit without speaking. According to Liao Ruyu's words, before heading to Huabei City, I have to stay here and not go out. Because there were many people guarding the exit of the highway with guns and weapons. From time to time, the sound of the bumping car could be heard in my ears. HMPH. The man before snorted coldly and stepped forward with some displeasure. Boy, I don't know what you and the lady said. But with your thin body, join me, Long Gang, so you don't get eaten by those zombies. The man's name is Zhe Huaju, and he is the leader here. And these men here are all workers in the steel plants of Longgang Group. I work in a steel factory all year round and do some dirty work. This makes their physical fitness far beyond that of ordinary people, and each of them is very good in terms of endurance and strength. Those who can go out with Liao Ruyu are naturally carefully selected people. Chen Mo still closed his eyes and said nothing. At this time, a kind-looking middle-aged man opposite gave a wry smile and said, "Okay, Lao Zhe, I have a child, why are you so vigilant? Now is the end of the world. There are only men and women, no children." Zhe Huaju said solemnly. I don't know why the lady asked him to go back with us. It's better to just put it at the site. Just like the survivors, they won't be allowed to pass until they collect a certain amount of crystal cores. What are you talking about? As soon as these words came out, several men present were a little unhappy. Compared with Feng Tianyu, these people are obviously more conscientious. Old Zhe, are you confused? It's unscrupulous to cut off your life. You will go to hell after death. Whoever wants to do it, I don't want to do it anymore. People like Feng Tianyu enjoy it. Now, have you been punished? Hey, there's nothing we can do about it. People die every day. I don't know when this day will end. Zhe Huaju seemed to feel that he had made a mistake, and said calmly. I didn't mean it either. Those sons of trash are targeting our Longgang Group with the conflicts of foreign survivors. They are really not a thing. Everyone said nothing more, their expressions were very ugly. After all, people like Feng Tianyu were in the minority. Before the end of the world, everyone here was a worker, and they all knew that life was not easy. Chen Mo slowly opened his eyes. He glanced at this group of big and thick men. He spoke. You Longgang people are not willing to intercept survivors coming from outside. Zhe Huaju sneered. Do you think we are all beasts like Feng Tianyu? You're lucky, kid. Since the lady is willing to take you in, you can stay in Longgang honestly after arriving in Huabei City. Chen Mo didn't say anything more. The entire journey was silent. Large cars drove on this somewhat dilapidated highway for a while. We stopped intermittently along the way, but fortunately we didn't encounter any accidents. About half an hour passed. The whole car staggered to a stop. From outside, there was suddenly a sound of kicking footsteps and the sound of, a few clicks, of firearms. Stop. Immediately afterwards, Liao Ruyu's voice sounded. We are from Longgang Group. How many people have arrived today? 15 people. Name, identifying information. It's all here. Let everyone in the car come out. Quote. There was no movement from the outside world, and no one knew what Liao Ruyu did. The voice then sounded, okay, you can go. The superiors told us to put those survivors back in place. After the safe zone is established, we will release them, do you understand? Let's go. Buzz, the sound of the engine starting. The car body began to sway forward again. I don't know how long it took, but the rear door was pushed open with a squeak sound. Revealed the light. Chen Mo looked outside, and his entire field of vision became clearly visible. At this time, there was ruins, the surrounding area was somewhat empty, and the ground was covered with blood stains and corpses of zombies. The fishy smell and rotten smell hit his face. The most familiar taste of the apocalypse. Liao Ruyu, who has a hot figure, said with a smile under the car. Okay, we've arrived in Huabei City. Everyone come out. Chen Mo got out of the car with a group of men. Looking around, I saw a car parked on the side of the road. Liao Ruyu said with a chuckle. Come down and get some air. Chen Mo nodded slightly. A group of men were holding weapons and were paying close attention to the surrounding movements. Although this area has been cleared many times, but there will still be wandering zombies appearing here from time to time. So everyone was in high spirits. Liao Ruyu stretched out and looked at Chen Madao with a smile on her face. We've arrived at Huabei City, the city you've longed for. Our Longgang group base is located more than 30 kilometers away. Although the next road has been walked countless times, there are still some zombies occasionally. Quote. You are so strong, is it okay to help? At this point, Liao Ruyu stuck out her tongue. Chen Mo nodded. Can, but I want those cores. Liao Ruyu smiled and said, don't worry about that. As long as you take care of that strange crocodile for our Longgang, we will still have some crystal cores. You will also be given corresponding rewards. It's like a bounty hunter in a movie. How about it? It's cool, right? Chen Mo said lightly. Help me find someone and everything will be easy to talk about. Okay, don't worry, I will definitely take care of your matter. Liao Ruyu patted her chest and promised. At this time Zhe Huiju also came over and said, Miss, those guys just now want something again. Liao Ruyu glanced at him and said calmly with a pretty face. Well, I gave you some. Zhe Huiju was furious, and even the faces of the men beside him didn't look good. These guys are so shameless. They obviously have food in the military area, but they are always thinking about this little thing from our Longgang. Miss, this is not something that happens once or twice. We have to take a look next time. So what if we don't give it to them? When Chen Mo heard this, he looked at her curiously. You gave them food. People in the military region also lack this thing. Liao Ruyu smiled tenderly, she seemed very open-minded. Said nonchalantly, although food will be distributed, how many of them will get into the hands of these people after it is distributed layer by layer? How can you come in if I don't give you any benefits? Don't talk about this, let's go. I've been curious about your strength for a long time. Since you can deal with those guys like Feng Tianyu and the little zombies, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Show me. Chen Mo didn't speak, but looked around. Then, he looked in a direction. Raise your right hand slightly. Whoosh, an ordinary steel ball shot out from nowhere. As fast as a bullet, no one could react. Squeak. At this moment, in the ruins more than 30 meters ahead, a rat's scream suddenly sounded. Thick blood flowed from the gravel. The pupils of everyone present shrank. Zhe Huiju's eyes widened even more and he looked at Chen Mo in disbelief. Liao Ruyu covered her mouth in surprise. Chen Mo's power is too incredible, right? Liao Ruyu used the superpower storm with some disbelief. The ruins rumbled, and wisps of wind were sent directly in, dragging out the corpse of the corpse rat. At a full meter in size, it is larger than an ordinary house cat. How did you do it? Liao Ruyu was a little shocked. See, Chen Mo didn't explain. Qiongqi turned into a Tianquan tattoo, which can continuously strengthen his 5 senses. With Qiongqi's sense of smell and senses, even a rank 2 mutant is much stronger than a rank 3 mutant. You have cleaned up the zombies here. But there are a lot of corpse rats. Chen Mo said calmly. The senses brought by Qiongqi made Chen Mo stand on top of the ruins. You can clearly hear the noisy rat corpses scurrying one after another in the wastewater channel below. If the corpse rats accumulate to a certain level, they will be just like themselves in Tianquan City. The Rat King appears. Chen Mo reminded. It's better to clean it up when you have time. This simple click surprised everyone present. Zhe Huaju didn't even see when Chen Mo took action. He couldn't help but give Chen Mo a high look. Liao Ruyu glanced at the corpse rats running through the ruins one by one, shook his head and exclaimed. I understand. I'll arrange for someone to come over and take care of it in 2 days. With your strength, you should be a rank 3 superpower, right? It seems that this time I, Long Gang, asked you to deal with that strange crocodile. It will definitely be enough. Let's go. The group of people set off in a mighty manner. Liao Ruyu is the only superpower in Longgang. Naturally, we have to lead the way from the front. And Chen Mo, because he didn't have the principle to summon Qiongqi, was also a superpower. Then Liao Ruyu took the initiative to invite her to sit on her motorcycle. Chen Mo put his hand on her shoulder with a strange look on his face. Liao Ruyu didn't shy away from it at all, but instead smiled coquettishly. I don't mind a woman, but you, a grown man, belong to my mother-in-law. It's time to work, let's go. This black motorcycle, coupled with her storm power, is quite smooth and agile in this wasteland. However, the big waves hit my cheeks a little bit raw. The situation in North China City is not much better than that in Tianquan City because of the existence of the military region. The ground beneath his feet was cracked everywhere, and buildings around him collapsed. Before the end of the world, Huabei City was a city with heavy industry. The economy is in recession, and it only relies on the development of Longgang Group and several large industrial groups. Not many young people choose to stay here, and most industries are sunset red. Therefore, the surrounding houses and buildings have a sense of antiquity. There are not many high-rise buildings, but factories and old communities are everywhere. Roar! The group of people kept moving forward. Finally saw the first wave of zombies here. Boom! A short, huddled zombie suddenly emerged from the ground in front of the two of them. Caught off guard, Liao Ruyu's pretty face changed. Obviously she was startled. Then he frowned, accelerated the motorcycle, and crashed directly into the zombie that came out of the end. Bang! A stream of blood fell, and the zombie made a 360-degree turn in the air and flew out. The bones all over its body were shattered, hitting the ground like a pile of mud, and it kept roaring. Roar! Roar! Around him, zombies poured out from each collapsed or dilapidated store. Bang! Bang! There were constant knocking sounds from behind. The men of Longgang were all holding sticks, fire axes, and sharp weapons and slashing at the surrounding zombies. Entered into a fierce battle. Liao Ruyu stopped the motorcycle and said with a cold expression on her pretty face. These zombies are getting really annoying. Why are they still hiding underground to carry out sneak attacks? Chen Mo, they will also evolve. With that said, Chen Mo took out Onikiri from his waist, stepped forward quickly and stabbed the short zombie's body with a knife. PFF'd. Blood flew everywhere. Kill with one blow. Looking at these zombies in front of me, without exception, they are all rank 1. A strong wind blew in the field, as sharp as a knife cutting people. Liao Ruyu directly controlled the storm and swept out a wind blade. PFF'd. The head and body of a zombie were separated neatly. Obviously, she is already very good at mastering supernatural powers. Chen Mo, let's see who can kill more people. Liao Ruyu turned around and said with a smile. With an arrogant and graceful figure, under the siege of this group of zombies, he avoided attacks again and again as easily as he danced a waltz. She is a rank 2 superpower with extraordinary powers that makes it difficult to harm ordinary zombies. Chen Mo glanced at her. The Onikiri in his hand flicked hard. Dominate the use of abilities. Onikiri turned into countless black liquids in an instant, shooting out in all directions like waves. The black water droplets were like pear blossoms in a rainstorm, accurately piercing the brains of zombies one after another. Puff puff. Zombies fell to the ground one after another. Their strength was extremely terrifying. Liao Ruyu opened her mouth when she saw this. He froze in place for a moment. This killing speed is simply too shocking, right? This pervert, she muttered softly, and the strong wind around her became even fiercer. The two superpowers clearly showed the difference between them and the ordinary people in Longgang. Under the influence of the mysterious power of this apocalypse, the current zombies have gradually undergone considerable evolution. Although they are often cleared away, the zombies are like weeds that burn endless paper, and they will gather in large numbers every once in a while. There are more than 50 zombies here. Longgang's men, who were tall and strong, kept killing each other with weapons. But their blades were barely able to cut off the heads of rank 1 zombies. Death to me! Zhe Huiju roared angrily, his eyes red with all his might, and he struck out with all his might. The fire axe embedded in half of the zombie's head in front of him tore up more than half of the flesh and blood. Finally cut off his head. Blood splattered all over him. These beasts have become stronger again. Zhe Huiju spat, and his whole body was already dripping with sweat. Looking at Chen Mo, who was crazily slaughtering zombies not far away, it was so difficult for him to just kill one. Zhe Huiju couldn't help but feel a deep sense of powerlessness in his heart. He rushed towards a group of zombies with ferocity in his heart. And just then, from a distance, a neighing sound sounded. Roar! In the sky, a pool of green liquid full of stench and corrosiveness suddenly appeared. Bang! Fell to the ground with a sound, and even the stones and corpses of the zombies were corroded and burned to death. Zila! The pool of mucus on the ground was boiling and bubbling. There was a burning sound and a strong fishy smell. Ah! Some people can't stand the smell that makes people feel extremely physically uncomfortable. I couldn't help but retched. What the hell is this? At this moment, Chen Mo narrowed his eyes slightly. Along with this zombie roar sounded. All the zombies around began to restless. Roar, roar. Liao Ruyu's pretty face changed. She covered her nose and used her storm power to disperse the surrounding smell. Although she was in better condition than the others in Longgang, she was obviously disgusted by the pool of green slime. Roar! The voice from before sounded again. I saw a black and extremely fast figure trampling on the surrounding buildings at an extremely fast speed. Boom! It landed heavily on the ground. It turned out to be a zombie with a slightly bulging abdomen and a neck as long as a snake. He is a middle-aged man. The corners of his mouth were split to his earlobes, and the skin all over his body was ulcerated. The intestines hang from the waist, and the internal organs are clearly visible. Green mucus is constantly seeping out of its skin and dripping on the ground. Even from a distance, you can smell the stench like rotting corpses in stinky swill. It looked extremely disgusting, and it was shaking its limbs, roaring, and dancing around. What the hell is this? Seeing this scene, Liao Ruyu frowned, showing a strong look of disgust. Chen Mo, rank 2 zombie. Decomposer. He didn't expect that today's zombies would evolve so quickly. There have been extremely special zombies with special abilities, similar to superpowers. As soon as the decomposer appeared, all the men in Longgang couldn't help but tremble. This was the first time they had seen a zombie that looked like this, and it was clear at first glance that it was not a simple thing. Zhe Huiju was even more cold-blooded. The ultimate sense of oppression brought by this decomposer was stronger than any other zombie. Liao Ruyu looked at Chen Mo and said immediately. Decomposer. What? Chen Mo looked calm and spoke. Don't come into contact with its skin and mucus. It's corrosive and even superpowers can't handle it. You can understand that high concentration sulfuric acid is more lethal than sulfuric acid. Besides, you can't fight in close combat. What? Liao Ruyu was shocked. Looking at the steaming liquid flowing in the distance, her scalp felt numb. Now what? Chen Mo's eyes flickered. Decomposers can be said to be the most difficult type of special zombies. In the early stage, it is absolutely fatal to ordinary people. To fight with it, not only must you always be careful about the body fluids of the decomposer, but you must also not get too close. Because as long as it is injured, what will be sprayed out is not blood, but a compressed and highly concentrated corrosive liquid. If it can't be killed in one hit, it can finally use an ability similar to a self-destructing truck. Among those special zombies, there are undoubtedly monsters that even superpowers don't want to encounter. Chen Mo glanced at the pale-faced Longgang people behind him, who were being retreated by a group of rank 1 zombies. There are no superpowers and no firearms. Just relying on their ordinary physiques, they would never be able to compete with the decomposers. Chen Mo held the onikiri in his hand and stared at the decomposer opposite. An icy cold light appeared in his eyes. Give it to me. Liao Ruyu directly used Baofeng and said, let me help you. No, just don't cause trouble. Chen Mo directly rushed over with a knife. When Liao Ruyu heard this, her delicate body trembled and she stamped her feet in anger. What the hell? After all, he is also a rank 2 superpower. Roar! The surrounding zombies pounced one after another, and before they even got close to Chen Mo, their heads had already fallen to the ground. Liao Ruyu watched Chen Mo rushing out alone, ruthlessly harvesting the lives of the zombies in front of him like mowing grass. Her beautiful eyes were full of surprise. How strong is this guy? But at this critical moment, she didn't have time to think too much. Directly throw out a few wind blades to help Longgang and his party who were locked in a fierce battle behind them. As a rank 2 superpower, she was also not weak. The wind blades blew by and cut up the zombies surrounding Longgang and his group with ease. Miss. Zhe Huaju and the others took a breath. Bang! He hit the head of the zombie that was cut in half by the wind blade with an axe, and countless blood spattered. Zhe Huaju immediately looked in Chen Mo's direction. His pupils were dilated, his face full of disbelief. He wants to go there alone. Now, when the decomposer saw Chen Mo rushing towards him, he shook his head and roared, his long neck swinging dexterously like a python. Gurgling, its throat and abdomen squirmed. It's like bugs are swarming out. Suddenly his mouth opened wide. Poof! A pool of green sticky phlegm was spit out from it, exuding a foul smell and minced meat, and shot in the direction of Chen Mo. Chen Mo frowned. The surrounding molten iron instantly condensed into a metal wall in front of him. Zzzz. The green sticky phlegm directly hit the metal wall. It actually began to corrode the metal wall, dissolving a hole. PFF'd. PFF'd. The decomposer spat out several more strings of sticky phlegm. Chen Mo is a rank 3 superpower, and with the blessing of a strange physique, the phlegm cannot splash at him. It was perfectly avoided and fell to the ground. The green sticky phlegm hit the standing stones, ruins, and the ground. Corroded holes formed one after another, and the stench spread directly to the entire place. Roar! Seeing that his attack was ineffective, the decomposer seemed to be irritated. Actually, he also pounced towards Chen Mo. Its speed is not slow, and mucus is constantly seeping out of the broken skin. If it touches it, it will be very uncomfortable. Chen Mo snorted coldly. The onikiri in his hand slashed forward. Drops of black liquid were cut out from onikiri, and turned into black unknown metal and slashed towards the decomposer in front of him. Puff, puff, puff. It was like a hail of bullets. No matter how fast you are, can it be faster than your own rank 3 ability? Ouch! The decomposer roared in extreme pain. From its pierced body, bunches of small green fountains continued to emerge. The slime kept spraying everything around it, and nothing within a distance of several meters was spared. Fortunately, onikiri was exchanged between himself and the mysterious businessman. The metal material inside cannot be corroded even by the decomposer's slime. The black water droplets reintegrated into the onikiri, carrying an indescribable stench. Chen Mo glanced at the people behind him. Said coldly, "Stand away. The decomposer will explode after death, and the mucus in its body can splash within a range of 30 to 40 meters. In other words, these guys are very likely to be affected by the mucus in the decomposer's body." When Liao Ruyu saw this, she said loudly without hesitation, "Everyone come with me." She directly asked all Longgang personnel to gather together and use the storm power. A wall of wind was resisted in front of everyone. Chen Mo turned around again and looked at the decomposer opposite, who was accumulating strength and preparing to spit out sticky phlegm. He raised his right hand, and the scrap metal surrounding the decomposer suddenly rolled towards the decomposer. Bang! Clamped them together hard. Tear! Countless green slime splashed everywhere. Chen Mo used metal walls to block his body, providing perfect protection. The viscous liquid splashed directly to the location of Liao Ruyu and others. He was blown away by the wind wall and fell in front of him. The ground in front of me began to corrode at a speed visible to the naked eye. Everyone in Longgang looked horrified when they saw this. Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes widened and she looked at Chen Mo in surprise. Because now Chen Mo seems to be more at ease than before. On the other hand, the decomposer on the opposite end was actually trapped between the surrounding metal objects and unable to move, and was constantly struggling. He is so powerful, why didn't he do this before? Someone in Longgang was puzzled. Zhe Huaju's pupils shrank as he looked at the green mucus all around him. It seemed like he had thought of something. We were very close at the time, maybe, we were afraid that the zombie's mucus would hurt us. Everyone suddenly realized. That young man, it turned out that he had the ability to kill that zombie easily. That said, wouldn't it be a burden to wait for others? Chen Mo stared at the struggling decomposer opposite. The mucus seeping from the decomposer's skin is constantly corroding the metal objects. Chen Mo was unwilling to use onikiri anymore. Because the smell of the decomposer is really too unpleasant. He simply waved his right hand and mobilized a pool of molten iron. Condensate molten iron into an extremely sharp metal blade. Sweep and slash towards the head of the decomposer in the distance. A silver arc flashed across. So fast, the decomposer on the other side suddenly became quiet. PFF'd. A line suddenly appeared on the decomposer's long neck. Then it gradually began to move, and finally fell off the neck and rolled to the ground. Done in one go. From its headless body, gurgling green mucus shot up into the sky, like a fountain. And something even more frightening happened. The decomposer's belly began to swell. It was covered with bloodshot eyes, and traces of mucus were constantly seeping out of the belly. It gets bigger and bigger, expanding to the extreme. At the end, there was a boom. Countless raindrops of slime were exploded, along with minced meat, splattering and splattering. It was extremely powerful and began to spray in a range of tens of meters around. Chen Mo immediately used his dominance ability. All the surrounding metal objects began to melt, and strips of silver liquid iron came from all directions. Above and in front of Chen Mo, Longgang and the others, a huge half-moon metal barrier was formed, 3 to 4 meters high. The huge impact of the explosion was blocked by the metal barrier. Zitsa. The metal barrier in front of me was corroded with small holes. The wails and screams of zombies kept coming to my ears. Roar. Those zombies were dissolved by the mucus exploded by the decomposer. Everyone in Longgang stared blankly at the scene in front of them. Through the hole in the metal barrier in front of them, they could see clearly. At this moment, the green liquid was everywhere and it was a mess. The flesh and blood of each hideous zombie was melted away. He kept screaming and fell into the green slime water, with thick green smoke rising. Liao Ruyu looked at Chen Mo in disbelief. He was actually in the middle of the fight. You can also take time to take care of yourself and others. With such strength, even her storm power can't do it. Crash, the metal wall in front of him instantly turned into silver liquid and poured down. Longgang and the others looked at the mess around them, and there was green everywhere. Falling into deep shock. Is this over? Where's that zombie? Died. Chen Mo's face was extremely calm. After killing the rank 2 decomposer. There was no wave in his heart. This is not the first time he has killed rank 2 alien zombies. With his current strength, this rank 2 zombie poses no threat to him at all. Chen Mo could have dealt with the decomposer long ago. But Longgang and his group behind him were different. This is why Chen Mo would rather work with the alien gods than join forces and build a small team. Guys without strength will only drag themselves down. The air is filled with the disgusting smell of decomposers. Zhe Huaju was trembling all over, with goosebumps all over his body. A big man next to him said with a numb scalp, "Miss. Why is this guy so strong?" In just a moment, all the zombies around were eliminated. Liao Ruyu also lost his mind for a long time and said quietly, "Let's go over there. Be careful with the mucus around here, don't get it." After cleaning up the battlefield. The good news is that not one of the dozens of Longgang members present died. After all, there are 2 superpowers, Chen Mo and Liao Ruyu, taking care of the field. These people are also the elites of Longgang. All have rich combat experience. And the bad news is, because of the explosive nature of the decomposer, its green slime can even corrupt the crystal nucleus. After cleaning the battlefield, only 16 rank 1 crystal cores were collected that were not stained with slime. There is also a rank 2 crystal core of excellent quality, a decomposer. This is why even people with superpowers don't want to meet decomposers. Even the zombie crystal cores that were finally killed cannot be collected. It's simply a thankless effort. Liao Ruyu took a deep breath to calm down her excitement. came to Chen Mo's side. Her beautiful eyes flickered, and at this moment, she looked at Chen Mo with some awe. Here, these crystal nuclei are all for you. She handed over all the crystal nuclei she collected. Chen Mo did not refuse and accepted it. Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes stared closely at Chen Mo. But he found that the mysterious young man in front of him had a calm face, without any disturbance. Isn't he excited? Liao Ruyu said after a while. How on earth did you do this, to be so strong? In the military area and Longgang, she has also seen many people with powerful abilities. But without exception, they could not reproduce Chen Mo's skillful operation. Chen Mo is at least a rank 3 superpower. Liao Ruyu is sure. Chen Mo glanced at her and said lightly, I can't get here by myself without being strong. They all died on the road. Also, Liao Ruyu murmured. To be able to get here from Tianquan city alone, there must be many dangers on the way. Chen Mo arrived here safe and sound from Tianquan city, which is enough to explain a lot of problems. After this battle, no one in Longgang's group of powerful blacksmiths dared to underestimate the young man brought by the lady. They all looked over with admiration. In the apocalypse, strength is always the capital that makes human venerable respectable. The strength shown by Chen Mo won the respect of everyone. Zhe Huaju stepped forward and said hesitantly, Thank you very much, boy. I have offended many people before. If it weren't for you this time, I don't know how many brothers would have died. Chen Mo said calmly, Nothing. Everyone takes what he needs. Liao Ruyu looked at Zhe Huaju with a smile and joked. You guys, will you apologize? Zhe Huaju is an old worker of Longgang group. He has worked for most of his life and has shown considerable strength in the apocalypse. Although he has no special powers, he is still a member of Longgang for more than 20 years, and now he has joined a small management team after the apocalypse. He has always been very repulsive to people other than Longgang. Zhe Huaju smiled bitterly. Miss, please stop teasing me. I, Zhe Huaju, am not a fool. With such strength, entering Longgang would really bring more advantages than disadvantages to Longgang. Liao Ruyu glanced at the center of the decomposer explosion. Almost everything there was stained green with foul-smelling slime. Liao Ruyu pinched her nose and waved her hands. Okay, let's go quickly, the smell here is really disgusting. The group carefully avoided the green slime around them. Then continue in the direction of Longgang. Liao Ruyu and Chen Mo were walking at the front. There are much fewer zombies around here than in the places we passed before. Liao Ruyu said a little strangely. But strangely enough, we travel frequently to this area. Logically speaking, all the zombies here should have been cleaned up by us and the people from the military area. Why did we encounter so many people today? Zhe Huaju frowned, pondered for a while and then said. Miss, you said, could it be that people from the military area deliberately brought these zombies here like they drove away the strange crocodile before? A man beside him joked. I said, Lao Zhe, you guys are not crazy, are you? People from the Tianquan military region must also come through this road. Liao Ruyu was stunned and began to think secretly. At this time, Chen Mo said calmly. Probably not. High-level zombies have appeal to low-level zombies. These zombies are also constantly evolving. I'm afraid they were brought by the decomposer. Liao Ruyu nodded. After all, she didn't want to be alarmist. But we are almost certain that the strange crocodile was put into our Longgang on purpose by the military region. People from the military region have been coming to negotiate terms with us before, wanting to expropriate our steel plant to see if it can be reoperated. The reason they asked that alien crocodile to come over was simply because they didn't want us to occupy that place. Chen Mo, I didn't believe it before, but now I do believe it. Liao Ruyu looked Chen Mo up and down. Suddenly, I discovered that this guy was quite handsome, with a tough face, as resolute as a knife. Especially those pair of extremely deep eyes, with an age and indifference not belonging to his age. And that unique temperament, if you dress it up a little, it will probably look very good. No, what am I thinking? Liao Ruyu quickly shook her head and dismissed the distracting thoughts in her heart. He said with a smile, Chen Mo, do you want to consider joining me, Longgang? Talents like this are definitely in demand no matter where they go. Nowadays, all those with some abilities have chosen to join the major military regions. She was the first to see someone like Chen Mo, who had a grudge against the military region and was still so cool. Chen Mo's eyes were calm and he ignored her. There are not many powerful superpowers in the apocalypse. Among them are all people with outstanding abilities and powerful abilities. Now, although I have not met those guys, at least Long Gang is not ranked among them. If he didn't interfere, it would be a matter of time before Long Gang was merged with the 6th military region. Seeing that Chen Mo ignored her, Liao Ruyu couldn't help but puff her mouth and said quite dissatisfied. What a weirdo. Forget it, if you don't want to, I won't force you. The group then set off. It took about 2 hours. Finally arrived at the stronghold where Long Gang is currently located. As a survivor force, Long Gang Group's stronghold is outside an extremely empty large shopping mall. Around them, they built a barrier around the place using scrap metal and cars collected from various places. The area is very large, and you can see large trucks coming and going from time to time at the entrance, as well as members of the Long Gang group. Liao Ruyu introduced from the side. This is the place where our Long Gang once collected supplies. It was cleaned up and we moved here. In the past, we were in the steel plant, and that was our real territory. It's a pity that the steel plant is now occupied by that strange crocodile, and we have to avoid its edge, so we moved all the people in the group here. Chen Mo nodded. Most of the Long Gang group members on guard are middle-aged men. After all, Long Gang group is a steel factory, and there are still relatively few girls. Seeing Liao Ruyu and his group coming back, the guard outside the door stepped forward and said respectfully, "Miss Liao." Liao Ruyu nodded and looked around. "Is there nothing going on today?" "Miss, everything is fine today." "What about the steel plant?" "That strange crocodile is still sleeping, and almost all the zombies near the steel plant have been eaten by it." Miss Liao, the chairman asked you to go find him when you come back." Liao Ruyu was stunned and said with some doubts, "Uncle Liao is back. Didn't he just go to the military area yesterday? What do you want from me?" The man shook his head and said, "I don't know, but when the chairman came back this morning, there were 2 people with him, a man and a woman. It seems to have been brought back from the military area." Liao Ruyu frowned and glanced at Chen Mo behind him. After pondering for a moment, he nodded. "I see." Liao Ruyu turned around, came to Chen Mo and said, "Chen Mo, someone is coming from the military region. I don't know if I'm here for you. I'm going to have a look later. But don't worry, I said before, as long as you are in my dragon steel, no one can take you away." Chen Mo looked at Liao Ruyu who looked serious. Wei Wei said in surprise, "It's okay, don't worry about me. If someone comes to see me, I'll just leave by myself." He didn't want to get involved too much with Long Gang. Liao Ruyu's pretty face was angry when she heard this, and she stamped her feet in anger. "What did you take what I said? I'll ask Zhe Huiju to take you to have a rest and eat something first. You just wait for me and don't go anywhere. Did you hear me?" "Ge Huiju," Liao Ruyu said. "Zhe Huiju. Miss, what's wrong?" Liao Ruyu glanced at the group of men in Long Gang behind her, opened her red lips lightly, and said, "You take Chen Mo to our lounge and arrange some food. I'm going to Uncle Lao's place. I'll be back in a minute." Zhe Huiju nodded when he heard this. "I see. Brother Chen, come with me." Because Chen Mo saved everyone's life before, Zhe Huiju was also a lot more polite. Chen Mo followed the group to their exclusive lounge. This lounge is a bit crude, a temporary shelter built near this large supermarket. Around it, there are many boxy lounges similar to this one. But Zhe Huiju and others were also following Liao Ruyu. The lounge where it is located is naturally unique, being in a relatively open location. Zhe Huiju opened the door. As soon as he entered the lounge, he took out boxes of instant noodles from the floor. The box also contained eggs and ham. Zhe Huiju carefully took out the top instant noodles and placed them on the table. Underneath these instant noodles are pressed. There are several boxes of self-heating rice. These are all their treasures. There are more than 300 surviving employees of Long Gang Group. Including some family members of the survivors, the number came to about 700 to 800 people. Except for Long Gang employees who live here, everyone else lives elsewhere. Not as wealthy as the lion, even Liao Ruyu's men had limited food distribution. Several men around him took off their shirts, sat down shirtless, and breathed a sigh of relief. Zhe Huaju swallowed, took out the self-heating rice and handed it to Chen Mo and said, "Eat, you saved our lives, brother, so you're welcome." Chen Mo looked at the self-heating rice on the table, his eyes flickering, but he didn't do anything. "I'm not hungry yet. Is there water?" Here. A man beside him took out a bottle of water and threw it over. Chen Mo unscrewed it and started drinking. Then he took out the crystal core of the previous rank 2 decomposer and began to absorb it. A group of men looked at each other. "Lao Zhe, what is this?" Zhe Huaju shook his head when he saw this. "Brother Chen should be absorbing this crystal core. Miss, this happens often too. Oh, this superpower is really enviable. When can we also have superpowers?" "No chance. Haven't you noticed that the zombies outside are a lot stronger? I almost couldn't chop off their heads with a knife today. Then what can we do? We don't have superpowers or guns. In this shitty world." Chen Mo opened his eyes and glanced at them. In fact, in the early days of the end of the world, there are only a few people who naturally awaken supernatural powers. But it does not mean that it cannot be activated through late stage. Crystal nuclei can also be forcibly absorbed by ordinary people, and they may have the opportunity to awaken supernatural powers. The crystal nucleus is full of impurities. The higher the level, the greater the possibility of awakening without being affected. Although inferior, rank 1 crystal cores are available, 99% of ordinary people who absorb them will lose their minds and become alien zombies. Before he was reborn, he relied on a rank 3 crystal core given to him by Yuer to awaken his psychic interference. Of course, Chen Mo didn't tell anyone this important news. Even Luo Tianshang didn't tell. After all, the temptation to become a superpower is too great for ordinary people. But it is also very dangerous, with a narrow escape from death. If he told Luo Tianshang or Long Gang, many people would take the risk and forcibly absorb it. By then, many people will die, and they will all be blamed on themselves. It is laborious and thankless, and there is absolutely no need to do it. After becoming a rank 3 superpower, Chen Mo remembered more and more things. Chen Mo lowered his eyes and thought secretly. If I remember correctly, Huabei City, that guy is probably here too. That guy had been following Lin Shu since he and Yuer joined the 6th Military Region, responsible for protecting his safety. Extremely powerful, possessing an extremely powerful A-level elemental power collapse. Everything it touches can explode at any time under the influence of its superpower. The most common usage is to attach supernatural powers to the bullets in the gun. He is the loyal dog of Lin Shu, a very powerful superpower in the 6th Military Region. At this moment, the chairman of Longgang Group was in the room. This is the most central and safest place in the whole place. Liao Ruyu looked at the man and woman in front of him. The pretty face said with some displeasure, "Help us. How dare you call it helping us if you take away half of the factory area of our Longgang Group?" The man and woman opposite looked young. The boy was wearing casual clothes, a short t-shirt, a short haircut, and he was young. He is quite tall, about 1.83 meters tall. He is tall and thin. He looks like an athlete. He was lying lazily on the sofa, drinking Coke. "You Longgang Group can't even defend your own territory." Quote, "You have to know that this is not our initiative, but Chairman Liao personally came to our military region." "That's right. If Uncle Zheng hadn't asked us to come here, I wouldn't have wanted to come to this ungrateful place." Next to the boy, a petite, flat-chested little loli was holding a doll and looking at Liao Ruyu with hostility. When he saw Liao Ruyu's pair of turbulent peaks, he pouted and looked even more unhappy. They are all superpowers from the military region. The boy's name is Wang Haoming, and he was a sports student before the end of the world. Because of his supernatural powers, Wang Haoming quickly gained the respect of the military region. The girl's name is Zheng Qing, and she is also selected from the survivors by the military region to cultivate powerful supernatural beings. Liao Ruyu was furious when she saw this, and her chest heaved up and down. "Uncle Liao, is this the person you recruited? Over at the military area, they just sent 2 little brats to help." Liao Ruyu looked at the middle-aged man sitting in the middle with a good-natured look and a fat figure in a shirt and said. Liao Wen wiped his sweat. "I feel quite helpless for my niece." He spoke. "Yuer, these 2 are both from the higher bureau. It was arranged by the high bureau personally. Even though they are young, they all have superpowers and are very strong. Liao Ruyu was so angry that she shivered. Strong. I have found the most suitable candidate to deal with that strange crocodile, and there is no need to agree to the harsh conditions of the military region. Let two little brats help. Uncle Liao, I have found the right person. Liao Wen was stunned. Wang Haoming took a sip of coke and glanced at Liao Ruyu, who had a proud figure and beautiful appearance. Said with a smile, Miss Liao, don't you trust us? As you know, this is a special period now, and most of our forces have been sent to find survivors. Since the High Bureau is willing to send us here, it is naturally because. Wang Haoming stood up slowly, just for a moment. Then he came behind Liao Ruyu. In his hand, a special pistol appeared at some point, which was pressed against Liao Ruyu's slender waist. Xiaoqing and I are enough. Liao Wen's eyes were shocked. And Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes became even more indifferent. Wang Haoming wanted to show off his powers and said coquettishly, Zhao King and I are both rank 2 superpowers. And my ability is sea-level speed. This gun is also unique to the military region. It can kill rank 3 zombies with ease. The military region knows that strange crocodile very well. Miss Liao, do you think we have the ability to get rid of that strange crocodile for you? Wang Haoming couldn't be more happy at the moment. Before the end of the world, I was just an ordinary student, with neither appearance nor grades ideal. After 3 years of precipitation, the heavy rain ruined my college dream. He broke up with his girlfriend after she thought he was worthless, and fell into a state of depravity for a long time. After awakening his superpower, he was reused by the military region. Not only does he have a very high status, but he is also highly regarded by senior officials in the 6th military region. When everyone sees him, he is respectful and in awe. For example, Liao Wen, chairman of Longgang Group. Such a person is something that he simply cannot reach before the end of the world. Just seen it on TV. But now, Wang Haoming was obviously very pleased with the fact that such a high-ranking and well-known director in North China City acted so cautiously in front of him. Liao Wen was startled by this scene and hurriedly stepped forward to dissuade him. Little brother Wang, what are you doing? Wang Haoming slowly put away the special pistol in his hand, smiled slightly, and said with a mature look. Chairman, don't worry, I won't do anything to Miss Liao. I did this just to make Ms. Liao believe that Zhao King and I are capable of taking care of that strange crocodile for Longgang. Miss Liao, how are you? Do you believe in our strength now? Liao Ruyu's pretty face was covered with frost and she said nothing. Suddenly he snorted coldly. Suddenly, an extremely fierce hurricane blew up in the entire house. The tables and chairs began to tremble violently, and Wang Haoming, who was closest to Liao Ruyu, shrank his pupils sharply. I felt like my face was being scratched with a knife, so I took a few steps back. This Miss Liao is also a person with superpowers. Wang Haoming couldn't believe it and immediately put away his contempt. Zheng Qing, who was sitting on the sofa next to her, also looked at her in surprise. The atmosphere of the scene was a little solemn for a while. Liao Wen said as a good old man, stop it now, these two are both people sent by the military region. He knew his niece's temperament and was afraid that she would hurt Wang Haoming and Zheng Qing. Wang Haoming also said a little embarrassed. Miss Liao, I didn't mean it just now, but that's enough. Liao Ruyu scolded impatiently and looked at the two of them. Don't think that just because you have superpowers, you can do whatever you want in my dragon steel. I have my own arrangements for this expedition against the strange crocodile. Uncle Liao, you believe me? Liao Wen looked a little hesitant. He was very afraid of the big shots in the military region. It can be said that without the care of those big shots, Longgang would not be what it is today. Zheng Qing snorted coldly and said with some displeasure. HMPH. If you don't need it, don't use it. Do you really think we want to help you? When the time comes, I don't think you'll beg us to deal with that strange crocodile. Liao Wen sighed. As the eldest person here, he is also the chairman of Longgang Group. He spoke. Okay, stop arguing. You two, calm down. The conditions for the military region to send people to help us at Longgang this time are negotiable. In my opinion, you should just let these two go with you first. Liao Ruyu. Uncle Liao. Liao Wen's face darkened and he spoke without any doubt. What? Don't you even listen to what you, Uncle Liao, say? Next, after some deliberations, the final conclusion was made. Wang Haoming and Zheng Qing assisted Liao Ruyu to deal with the strange crocodile, and he would discuss it again with the people in the military region. Liao Ruyu left with Wang Haoming and Zheng Qing with a displeased look on her face. Seeing the three people leaving, Liao Wen sighed heavily and sat on the chair. He murmured with faint eyes. Oh, some things are not as simple as you think. This time the High Bureau sent these two people here. If they don't eat a piece of my flesh, Long Gang, our relationship will really break up in the future, and the situation will be like fire and water. As the president who single-handedly established Longgang Group, Liao Wen has experienced countless people and has become more sophisticated with age. How could he be some incompetent and mediocre person? However, even if he doesn't want to do many things, he has no choice but to passively accept them. Given Longgang's current situation, if it breaks with the military region, there will be only disadvantages but no benefits. In the lounge, Chen Mo absorbed the rank 2 crystal core, and then absorbed 7 or 8 rank 1 crystal nuclei. The dominance ability has reached rank 3, and now only rank 2 crystal cores and rank 3 crystal cores can significantly improve it. The power of these crystal nuclei was used by Chen Mo to absorb the power of Tianquan. Chen Mo's eyes flickered. If this situation continues, it won't be long before my natural power can be upgraded to a rank 3 power. If the power of heaven reaches rank 3, then the number of alien species and gods that can be accommodated will be increased. Several big men in the lounge were asleep at the moment. When Chen Mo saw this, he was about to go out for a walk and opened the door. Squeak. What a coincidence, I just met Liao Ruyu who came back. Eyes facing each other, Liao Ruyu was stunned for a moment, then glanced at Long Gang and his team who were resting in the lounge behind Chen Mo. The pretty face said with a serious expression, Chen Mo, come with me. Seeing Liao Ruyu's appearance, Chen Mo felt that it must be related to the people coming from the military region. He nodded slightly and followed out. Liao Ruyu looked around. He led Chen Mo to an uninhabited place and said in a deep voice, Chen Mo, there are 2 superpowers coming from the military area. Chen Mo, yeah. Liao Ruyu was stunned, and seeing the calm look on his face, she couldn't help but ask. Don't you care at all why they came? Chen Mo said lightly. If you don't have a mole in Longgang, I don't think the military region knows about my coming here. Liao Ruyu smiled brightly. Don't worry, they are not here for you. The military region sent people to deal with that strange crocodile for us. The people here are just 2 brats. I just tested it and found out clearly that they don't know your identity. Speaking of this, Liao Ruyu stared at Chen Mo's face and paused. But, your identity is too sensitive and should not be exposed. Isn't your power able to control metal? Then see if you can make a metal mask and wear it on your face to hide your identity. Liao Ruyu thought about him very much and reminded him kindly. Chen Mo was silent for a while after hearing this, and then nodded, feeling that what Liao Ruyu said made sense. He didn't want to run into too much trouble before finding Yuer. He simply raised his right hand, and a silver liquid suddenly flowed from nowhere around him. The metallic liquid floats in the air, constantly changing. In the end, it turned into a crude and frivolous mask. Chen Mo put it on his face. Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes lit up when she saw this, and she said with a sweet smile. Don't tell me, you are quite interesting like this. Liao Ruyu kept looking at the iron mask on Chen Mo's cheek, and suddenly frowned. He murmured as if he felt a little dissatisfied somewhere. I always feel like something is wrong. It's empty, it's a little too shabby, isn't it? Liao Ruyu studied design abroad before the end of the world. She looked at Chen Mo's mask carefully and thought for a while before saying. You are like this, like this. There are some depressions here, there are lines. Chen Mo, he was a little speechless, but seeing Liao Ruyu's eager look on his face, he still controlled his master power and did as he was told. It won't take a while. A mask with a hideous face that covered most of his face and had 2 extremely ferocious fangs appeared in his hand. Liao Ruyu looked at Chen Mo impatiently and said. Put it on, put it on. Chen Mo obeyed the instructions honestly. Liao Ruyu's beautiful eyes suddenly brightened, and she kept tutting her tongue in admiration. Yes, it was indeed designed by me. This looks very handsome. You will wear this mask tomorrow. I will take you to a place to rest. After discussing it tomorrow morning, we will set off to the steel plant. The residence arranged by Liao Ruyu was quite good, with beds and food, and it was a small box building just like the outside. Chen Mo sat outside, feeling the slightly cool wind at night, and fell into deep thoughts for a while. This monster is simply not something we can resist. Lin Shu, that beast. I won't let him go even if I'm a ghost. Boom. Like the twilight of the end of the world, the sky was extremely dark red, as if it was about to collapse. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood, corpses and smoke-filled wasteland all over the ground. On that high mountain where thick gray mist spreads and lava continuously erupted. On one end stretched out 6 pairs of wings that covered the sky and the sun. The Great Terror, which exudes a holy white light like a god, judges these god-killers who do not know whether to live or die. It just made a desolate sound like a whale's cry. The terrifying alien species and zombies that filled the surrounding sky like a tide came overwhelmingly. Thousands of people with superpowers appeared so weak under this Great Terror. No one can imagine that this area, which is like the border of the world, is the capital city. And no one who provokes it will survive. Until now, Chen Mo still can't understand. Why can I be the only one to survive? Chen Mo kept recalling everything in his memory. Fragmented fragments suddenly flashed through my mind. A splitting headache. A thin layer of sweat appeared on Chen Mo's forehead. My own memory seems to have been interrupted at this moment. Chen Mo lowered his eyes, with overwhelming murderous intent in his eyes. Like a ghost from hell. In this life, I will change everything. No one can stop me. So what if he is a god in the last days? There are 2 powers, Tianquan and Domination. This is my greatest confidence. Chen Mo slowly stood up from the ground and said with twinkling eyes. We'll meet soon. Early the next morning. Liao Ruyu came to the place where Chen Mo was resting. For some reason, Chen Mo always felt a little uncomfortable wearing a mask. But Liao Ruyu is obviously very satisfied with his outstanding design. The two came to a lounge together. Before they could push them away, they heard a voice of extreme dissatisfaction coming from them. Where's that woman? Why don't you come over? We are from the military region. Wait a minute, Miss is going to pick someone up. Pick someone up, I said. Wang Haoming and I are enough. Who else do we need? We don't want to bring another burden. Bang, the door was suddenly pushed open. Liao Ruyu brought Chen Mo in aggressively. Seeing the visitor, the lounge suddenly became quiet. There were 3 people inside. Wang Haoming, Qiongqi. There is also a young man who looks submissive, wears glasses, and has a weak temperament. Liao Ruyu glanced at the girl Qiongqi coldly. From yesterday to now, this guy is the one with the most things. Their Longgang's extremely scarce water was actually used by him to take a bath, and he wouldn't eat this or that, and even insisted on eating some cooked food. In these last days, it would be nice to have food to eat, but there are so many conditions. If it weren't for the people from the military region and Uncle Lao's constant warnings, Liao Ruyu would have had an attack long ago. Seeing the visitor, Wang Haoming smiled and stepped forward. Miss Liao. As for Liao Ruyu, who is beautiful in appearance and hot in figure, he, a vigorous college student, is still ready to make a move. Coupled with the strength shown by Liao Ruyu yesterday, he felt a special good feeling in his heart. Yesterday, he had been actively showing favor to Liao Ruyu. But the other party's arrogant look seemed to look down on himself. This deeply hurt Wang Haoming's low self-esteem and sensitive heart. But Liao Ruyu didn't give him a good look. In her eyes, Wang Haoming and Qiongqi were both the same. Is this the powerful helper you said? Why are you still wearing a mask? What, are you too ugly to be seen? Qiongqi seemed to have been extremely hostile to Liao Ruyu from the first day, and couldn't help but ridicule. Wang Haoming also frowned. Have you ever seen such a weird person wearing a mask? Cosplay. He looked at Chen Mo and asked. Who is this? Liao Ruyu snorted coldly, glanced at Qiongqi and said coldly. Little brat, you'd better be respectful when you speak. Tian's strength is much stronger than all of you. Small. Qiongqi's little face turned red with anger. She hated people saying she was young the most in her life. You, humph. This girl doesn't care about you. All the powerful superpowers are in our military area, how could they be here with you? Wang Haoming said. Okay, Zhao King, let's get down to business. Uncle Zheng said, you come here and listen to me. Miss Liao, and this old man, let's come in and talk. Intentionally expressing himself, Wang Haoming said in a gentlemanly manner. Liao Ruyu's face looked better now, and she pulled Chen Mo in. Wang Haoming was a little unhappy, but he didn't say much. Liao Ruyu glanced at the people present, coughed twice and said, let's all introduce each other. There are 5 people in total for this operation. They will set off after noon. Liao Ruyu glanced at Wang Haoming and Zheng Qing. He turned around and introduced to Chen Mo. These two, Wang Haoming and Zheng Qing, are 2 superpowers from the military region. And this one is from Longgang, his name is Zhou Zimo. My superpower is A-level storm, which can mobilize the surrounding wind. Everyone, please introduce yourselves first, and tell us about your abilities. We can also arrange the distribution of duties. Liao Ruyu looked like a talker and spoke without any doubt. Chen Mo glanced at the 3 people in the room and didn't care about Zheng Qing's arrogant expression. Most of the superpowers in the apocalypse have a superior mentality. It can be said that if Chen Mo and Liao Ruyu were not supernatural beings, Zheng Qing's performance would only be worse. But in this small team right now, everyone is very unfamiliar with each other. In this case, it would be better to act alone. Chen Mo thought secretly. The boy wearing glasses and looking gentle and frail said coquettishly, I am a rank 1 superpower. My superpower is C-level insight. I can find weaknesses and observe strength. Insight, such a weak power, what's the use of it? Zheng Qing said with some disdain. If this guy comes over, I think it will only hold us back. Zhou Zimo's expression changed and he was a little embarrassed. Liao Ruyu frowned and said, what do you mean? Zhou Zimo's ability is definitely not as simple as you think. Since you 2 are here, you must obey my command for this operation. Wang Haoming tried to smooth things over. Okay, Zhao King, please stop saying a few words. Zhao King and I are both rank 2 superpowers. Mine is C-level speed, as the name suggests. I can increase my speed several times in a short period of time. Similarly, the surrounding movements will also slow down in my field of vision. Zheng Qing obviously didn't want to say anything more, and Wang Haoming was also a little helpless. Princess Zhao King is seriously ill, and her cousin is Zheng Haifeng, the military commander. The Gao Bureau also took great care of Zheng Haifeng for his sake, and Zheng Qing's superpowers were also very good. Even in the 6th military region, he has a very high status. Wang Haoming continued, Zhao King has a B-level mental power, mental interference, and can control some low-level zombies and alien species. It can also affect the behavior of zombies. Mental disturbance. Chen Mo was slightly startled and glanced at the extremely arrogant Zheng Qing in surprise. This guy actually has the same superpower that he awakened before he was reborn. When it comes to mental interference, Chen Mo is very familiar with it. Before rebirth, I mastered the mental interference, and being able to upgrade it to rank 6 was a huge effort. Chen Mo took a deep look at Zheng Qing. Zheng Qing naturally noticed Chen Mo's gaze, snorted and said displeased ly. What are you looking at? What is your guy's superpower? Chen Mo smiled jokingly. I'm just wondering whether you understand whether you need to use this mental interference or not. Although this ability is not strong, it can always play a huge role at critical moments. It also took me several years to develop the real secret. It's really hard to say what kind of special ability Chen Mo has. But when it comes to mental interference, I am a little too familiar with it. Zheng Qing was furious when she heard this. He looked at Chen Mo said angrily. Do you understand how to use it? I am a B-level superpower. Chen Mo smiled carelessly. In the future, crystal nuclei began to be commonly used to stimulate ordinary people's powers. B-level superpowers are really worthless. At least, it must be an A-level ability. Liao Ruyu glanced at Chen Mo. To be honest, she still doesn't know what level of superpower Chen Mo is and what level of superpower he has. The level of superpowers is determined by the military region. But judging from the power Chen Mo showed when he easily killed the decomposer before, Chen Mo's abilities are absolutely impossible to be below a level. Liao Ruyu. Chen Tian, please introduce your powers. Everyone present looked at Chen Mo in unison. Chen Mo said lightly, "Onikiri is my special power." Onikiri. Everyone present except Liao Ruyu was a little confused. Liao Ruyu glanced at Chen Mo in surprise. Wasn't what he said before about controlling metal? Chen Mo pulled out Onikiri and swept it gently. Tear, the ground under his feet was suddenly torn apart by Onikiri, leaving a long crack. Seeing this scene, both Wang Haoming and Zheng Qing shrank their pupils. He looked at the extremely dark sword with some disbelief. Real or fake? This knife can even cut through the ground easily. How sharp must it be? Zhou Zimo stared at Chen Mo closely and kept sizing him up. Although he is only a rank 1 superpower. But for some reason, the ability of insight tells me that I am present. This person is the most dangerous. His whole body was filled with terrifying murderous intent. It was definitely not simple. Zhou Zimo thought secretly. Wang Haoming took another look at Chen Mo. What a sharp blade, Zheng Qing said nonchalantly. HMPH, that means the weapons are more powerful. Are you considered a person with superpowers? Noisy. Chen Mo looked calm and waved the ghost in his hand. Bang! A drop of extremely sharp black liquid shot out from Onikiri's body, directly passing through Zheng Qing's ear. A few strands of green silk are fluttering. A hole was punched through the wall behind Zheng Qing. Zheng Qing was lost for several seconds. Then he reacted and screamed. He glared at Chen Mo and scolded in a harsh voice. You, how dare you attack me? Several people present were also stunned. Even if it was Liao Ruyu, she didn't expect Chen Mo to take action. Chen Mo narrowed his eyes slightly and stared at Zheng Qingdao with an evil look. Shut your mouth, otherwise it will be your life next time. Zheng Qing's pretty face turned pale and bloodless. Feeling the killing intent in Chen Mo's tone, he suddenly felt that the other party didn't seem to be telling lies. I was speechless for a moment. Chen Mo sneered. Liao Ruyu saw that Zheng Qing, who was so arrogant before, was so quiet now. I couldn't help but give Chen Mo a thumbs up secretly. Beautiful eyes are bright. Sure enough, no matter how much you talk to her, it's useless to deal with this kind of person. It would be better for Chen Mo to do it simply and neatly. Wang Haoming hurriedly came to Zheng Qing to comfort her. After all, they are from the same place. Liao Ruyu coughed and saw that the scene was quiet, so she spoke. Okay, Chen Tian didn't do it on purpose. Wang Haoming, since you are from the military region, you probably know that strange crocodile better. Tell me about it. Wang Haoming nodded, thought for a while and then stepped forward. The initial estimate of that strange crocodile should be that it has the ability of a rank 3 superpower. The bite force is extremely strong, and ordinary bullet blades cannot break through its defense. Quote, I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.